Still, sisters.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome. It's Gooch, your host of Diabolical Souls Presents. And tonight, we got the finale for Arcane Season 1, Episode 9, The Monster You Created. It's going to be a banger of a show, and I can't do it alone. But before we get to that, please hit that like button. Please leave a comment and hit that subscribe button, and maybe hit the notification so when we continue doing these animated reviews, you'll get notified. So I'm going to bring out the crew. They've been with me from the beginning, and I appreciate it a ton. Let's get them on here. Let's get the man himself. Amateur analyst, what's going on there, brother?
What's going on? Glad to be back for the finale.
Nice.
The whole crew's here. And man, I always remember this episode being really good, but holy cow. It got to me. It actually got to me, this one.
Yeah.
Which I can't say about a lot of things, but we'll get into it. We'll get there.
Yes, we will. And of course, we got our other co-host here, Enzo. What's going on, bro?
Chilling. Just picked up like $50 worth of Mexican food earlier, so I'm set.
Nice.
So we might see him mute an avatar and have to go for a break.
No, I didn't eat it all. I got just like rice and beans for the week because I was going to make enchiladas, and I got 2 soups because it's raining. And I figured, what the hell, I should get a chili rano too, because whatever, I'll eat that later.
Well, let's bring on the man that this young man. He's incredible with his knowledge of film. Let's bring him on. Actually, Andrew, what's going on, brother?
Hello. I'm doing good. I'll say the joke again. We're doing good.
You're doing good. All right.
Mhm.
Well, this is fun. You love this
doing?
series. This is your baby, Arcane.
This
And
show? I
yeah.
mean, I guess.
This-
yeah. I do
Well,
really
this
like
is
it.
Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man and this is like kind of your babies, I think.
Yeah, for animation, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you got to say about this
Same here.
episode. This is a great episode. So let's bring out our artist though. Let's bring out Zach. What's going on, bro?
Doing all good. I don't know, it
Doing
just
good?
breaks my heart because it's the last episode, so
Here
yes.
at last, at the shores of the sea,
yeah.
ends comes
And
the
you-
end
you
of
know
our
what's-
fellowship.
end
It,
of
get,
all
it gets me
fellowship.
wondering. It gets me thinking, like, why the hell is it we got to the point for 3 years, we're at this point where we're doing episode reviews on this show, but we still don't have action figures on it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if action figures do they sell anymore? Because
Like,
like
those are like for like old
Dude.
Guys who used to.
Dude,
play
I'll
with-
buy them. Are you kidding me?
Oh, geez,
Right.
thank
Yeah.
you, man.
No, exactly. Like adults are the only ones buying action figures these days.
well, we can't do a show without Heimerdinger, so let's bring him on. What's going on there, Hostman?
Oh, nothing much. Thank you for having me on again. This honestly brings back so many conflicting memories. I mean, I remember this being quite a tragic time in my life. I had just been kicked out of the council, but I made some very new friends, so this should be interesting.
Well, thank you, Heimerdinger.
You know what I think?
He's like this
The
backstage
biggest
too.
crime?
He's a method actor. So.
The biggest crime this show committed was not making an art book for the show.
yeah.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, what the
Okay.
hell? There's no
Dude.
concept art. It's like,
I
Dude.
know.
I have the concept art for both Spider-Verse movies. Both books on it are amazing. And like
Hell
I was
yeah.
like, hey, is there one on Arcane? No. I hope they do one for season 2. They have to.
If they
If
do,
they
I just
don't, I'm giving
think-
it a 0.
Are they
like,
doing one for Dune
they'll probably
2?
do it collected.
I don't know.
Oh,
if they're
I
doing
hope
it.
so.
I don't
Are
think
they
they're
for
doing
Dune
it for
Part
Dune
2?
I think there's
Maybe
like an
they-
art book
he
with
doesn't do
original,
that.
like original Dune concept art, like concept art from the book. I don't know.
Well, before
Yeah,
we get
there's tons
started,
of that though. I want one for the film though. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
there was a little ding there. The man from across
think
the
this
pond
might-
is here. Mr. Platoon, how are
There's
you,
a
sir?
ding.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Good to see some of you again, and the rest of you from last week.
How are you, Platoon? How are things?
I'm okay, thank you. Not bad. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm a lot better than I was a couple of weeks ago, for sure, and I'm feeling really good now. So, yeah, and I'm happy that we're all together to talk about the finale. This should be a good show. And of course, we can't do this without everyone in the chat. So we got a few people in the chat, and I also have a poll out there. So we have a question and a poll in the chat. So the question, the poll is Arcane the best animated series in the last 20 years? And 86% of you have already voted yes. And then the question
20.
I have for you in the last 20 years for sure. And then the question is, what is the best animated series just in general? So you guys have been answering it in the chat, which leads me to a couple things here. Like this gentleman here, the T Pro 83. I still can't believe Andrew said he thinks champions will be killed off in the show. They are literally reviving Vander from his noble death to make him a champion.
No, Vander was a champion. He is a champion in the video game. They're just showing the arc that he goes through to become the champion. Also, the Riot Games and the writers have said this is completely detached from the game canon, so anyone could die, which is why I think Jinx is going to die in season 2. Like, there's a lot of things, like, this is completely unattached from the video game. So when I say they could kill off characters, is because it's a detached canon, which raises the stakes.
So is that a smart idea when it comes to properties, to detach canon stuff that's already been laid down as a foundation, or to include it?
I think it's if you, especially with League and how dense and chaotic their lore is, I think it's good to wipe the slate clean for a TV show and just kind of do a soft introduction and decanonize itself from the games.
You can kind of call it a reimagining, right?
Yeah.
In the way
Yeah.
that it's like Battlestar Galactica in the 2000s is a reimagining of the one from the 1970s, and it has certain similarities, but it doesn't carry a huge amount of canon and continuity theory. I think so long as you're honest with people that what you're doing is a reimagining and it's not pretending to be something that it isn't, people will be incredibly forgiving, and they might even enjoy it more, knowing that it's a completely different story using some familiar names and places and things. I also wanted to mention that you're missing an R from Arcane in your title. I don't know if that will impact
I
search
am?
results.
Oh yeah,
Arcane.
It's Arcane right now. Best show.
Oh.
Arcane, not Arcane. What's Arcane? Arcane.
Yeah, I might have to change that up. Yes, thank you there, Platoon. So yeah, okay, stop that. We have 30 people into watching right now, which I don't think we ever started off with 30 and right off the get-go. I quickly, T Pro 83, thanks for joining us, bro. Also Watami, thanks for joining us. He's sick, so he's going to be taking the night and sleeping. Jamalama, thanks, brother. Thanks for joining us. Holy Mother of God, I'm going to say this is possibly the best 51 minutes of television ever in history. All of that is good and holy. Okay. And then we have
True.
we got a couple more. Julio, thanks for joining us. Or Julio, is it Julio? I'm going to
It's Julio.
Hola, gentlemen, and good evening to you. Cannoli, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining us. And then yeah, that's about it right now. I'm just skimming through. If I missed you, just hit me up here.
Julio.
Wow, you never know. Like you can't say he or she anymore, so I don't know. Like,
Oh!
anyway, let's get going. And then on that, let's lead into this, which is the beginning of episode 9. So, yeah, episode 9. So we start off with obviously the death of this child from the last episode, who had the big fall, who actually pushed the red button and everything. And obviously we find out a little bit later this child is actually who he belongs to. And we get to Jace and Vi having a conversation about the world of the underworld. So Jace is kind of talking about how this is not right, and his exact words were, Vi says you didn't have a choice, she's like, he knew what he's signing up for, and he's like, we're done here. We haven't even scratched the surface. Silco's still out there from Vi, and she's like, do you not understand? I'm part of this now. I feel this from Jace. And so they're going back and forth, having this kind of little debate about, trying to finish, like trying to take out Silco and the underworld. And it's a pretty heavy dialogue when it comes down to like there's and Vi's like saying there's hundreds more where he came from, thanks to Silco and thanks to people like you who stuck their heads in the dirt. This is not over, not for me. And she's like keeping the gloves on, and Jace is just like, take those off, and we start to see the tension develop between the two. Go ahead, guys, if you have any comments about this.
It's a pretty important scene for character, because like he sort of had little hints of what things that he were like, but now he's actually literally having to stare it in the face. This is something that's been going a long time, and now he knows that he can't just ignore it anymore. Like he can't play that ignorance card. So like his character moving forward, he becomes a lot more like decisive, like discerning. Like he immediately better parlay to Silco, like, okay, we got to actually like put our cards on the table and make some terms here. This was just going to be a bunch of dead kids, right? And then Vi, of course, completely off of her original sort of like character arc, I guess, or like she's distanced from like her original motivation. I guess both of the characters kind of are, and I think that's why the story brings them together. But
it's the thing that sort of underpins this entire episode, and it's one of the things that makes me really, really enjoy this episode in particular. Is it's sort of like episode 3 in the way that the thematic element sort of runs all the way through it. So that the title is the giveaway. It's the monster you created. Now, obviously, the natural thing to put that title on is the end scene with Jinx. But actually, the really clever thing about this episode in particular is it applies to pretty much everybody. So the monster being created is almost every person you see on the screen at any given point. And there's a couple of people who have almost become that, and they have chosen to turn away from that. So Jace is one of them. Victor is one of them. And there's a lot of people, and Silco tragically is almost about to turn away from being the monster, but then it's Jinx's misinterpretation or mishearing that sort of seals his fate. But Vi, on the other hand, is being bent into a different shape, and most of the council is being bent into a different shape, and Jinx has already been bent into a different shape, and everyone is forced down these paths by circumstances over which they've had very little control. Going back to that point, we were thinking like way back in like episode 1, like tiny little decisions made by one person, unrelated to anything else, seemingly unrelated to anything else, all pay off in the final episode, which makes this one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I thought Jace
all sorts of different shapes in the second season. Yeesh.
I thought Jace was being an idiot. Like this whole scene, I was like, "You're such a moron, dude. Like, go ahead and just constantly be a hypocrite. Just keep like, doing the shit that council keeps doing."
Like his reasons for going down are pretty silly. Like the fact he brought a big hammer that he just swings around is pretty silly. But over where it actually brings his character at the end of the day is very important for both the plot and his character, and the way that his character is tied into the main theme of whether it's the cycle of violence or like the double-edged sword of consequence versus like what's important. And I do also like the repeated thing in this episode, I think Platoon, where Jinx sort of misinterprets the speech of someone that she looks up to, just listening in at the wrong moment and hearing words that weren't meant for her. And it's like it sort of sends her off like it did in Act 1. Do you think there's a couple pieces of repetition like that? Like we get the other one with Victor and Jace when he's about to say on YouTube, and Jace comes in and says the same line Victor told him when he was doing the same thing. I can't even do the line right now because I'm so bloody tired. My brain just can't think fit. Yeah. And
then there's the repeat with Jace's character where Silco says the boy didn't even haggle, which is what Echo said in the first episode. So
yeah,
a lot of through lines and motifs.
Well, Well, like they do a standoff, and then Jace leaves and says, "You can't do this alone." So, and it's left at that. Then we go back to the body of the child, and we find out that it's actually Rennie's child, and she's screaming at Silco.
We don't get to that yet. That's like a couple scenes down.
Is it not this? Oh,
Yeah.
this is the. Sorry, right here.
I just find
do
it
the cool
funny.
music
Right here.
build up. She punches the
Yeah.
glass.
Yeah, sorry.
type of
Yeah,
scene.
she punches the glass and lets out all the shimmer, and then like this is where we get to. Well, not here, but this is where we get to the scene where Rennie is screaming at Silco that what are you going to do? You're going to get Jinx to correct it like you always do, and then she's screaming that it's her son. Like she's like, where's Jinx anyhow? And she's like pleading with Silco, like like do something about this. And she's like, let me guess, Jinx will take care of this, just like she's been taking care of everything else. And Silco's, we all mourn the loss of your son, Rennie. At least we have the solace of knowing he died fighting for our cause, instead of some petty personal dispute, as so often occurs here. So, I mean, it's a cruel, like you're starting to see the cruelty of everything happening in this episode, and what it actually takes to survive in this world.
I couldn't decide either if I liked that, or if it was one of those examples of convenience, which does have a really satisfying payoff, whether like the convenience of it, oh, that kid happens to be the son of someone who happens to be incredibly important in the underworld, as opposed to just a random kid at a random time at a random place and day.
Mm-hmm.
I think it on reflection probably does still work though, because it just tells you more about how involved almost everyone, even the powerful people down here, are in run-of-the-mill business opportunities and like the day-to-day running of drug companies. Yeah, your kid probably will be taking part in that because you're not as privileged as somebody on the council is.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I
find it
like in this scene
ironic.
is it's more prominent in this episode, but it's happened like throughout the show. Is Silco has like, he flinches every time someone mentions Jinx in like a derogatory manner. Like she says, "Oh, is Jinx gonna take care of this?" And he just like he flinches, and he does it later when he's talking to Jace. He's done it before, I think in episode 4. It's either 4 or 5 with when Savika brings her up. A lot of these characters have these unique tics about them. That's just like a nice cherry on top with the characters.
Yes. Well, the character development in general is fantastic. Like it's so well done. And then we get into, go ahead.
Yeah. I just think it's kind of ironic that Silco does says at least he died fighting for a righteous cause and not just because of some petty dispute, when most of the petty disputes are his fault. Like he's kind of helped foster this much more seedy and corrupt version of the underworld for the sake of creating a better future, which ties into that again.
Mm-hmm. Well, even this shot right here with Silco, like you see him, he's tired of seeing the death happening all around him. Like it seems like, so which leads us to the next shot, which is
I like the detail of how his hair throughout the show, after we see him again, his hair just becomes more and more unkempt as he's just kind of losing control of his world, basically.
Yeah. Jin. Yeah, and so like this conversation with like it's with Rennie, Jin, and Savika, and he's just like, take care of the body, and he's obviously has a plan in place, and you see Jin like plotting inside it, like then we get to Victor, and I know we talked about this in prior episodes about the bouncing back and forth with the scene bouncing. This one worked out really well. The only one that didn't work for me is the Heimerdinger and Echo one. It was it felt off a little bit throughout this episode. I think the timing was off because there was so much intensity throughout this episode, and the Heimerdinger one just kind of didn't resonate as much. But I mean, we can get to that. But
Yeah, the
Maybe
just
because
my thoughts on
Heimerdinger is
it.
kind of
Echo-
boring.
Yeah, their dynamics.
No, hey,
feel
I
a
take
little
great
bit
offense to
different
that.
in comparison.
I think it's mostly like
Uh,
one of the few plot points in this show that's like seeming to be hopeful. You've got Heimerdinger living in the treehouse with the city dwellers and learning the ways, but there's nothing like terrible happening in that story. So that's why it seems like out of place with all the other plot lines.
What's
Yes,
up, Melvin?
It's
Quick
tragic
hello,
in the
Dave Rose.
sense that he's been betrayed by all of his. Well, I've been betrayed by all my friends at this point, and I, frankly, was at a very low point. But then I met someone who I would come to know as the boy who stole time. So
Yes,
It's
Vander's
very
laughing
much
as well.
it's very much a plot thread that's going to get the most development in season 2. Like they're not gonna they wouldn't be able to do anything with it meaningfully if they even tried to do it in this season, just because this season's
it would
like so compact.
it would be
and
incredibly shoehorned.
I wouldn't even it would really, they need to be careful with their world building too, with how time travel works, or
Yep.
soft time travel, with how Echo uses it. I'm interested to see what they do with him. I've seen a couple video game cinematics for him, and I think the concept behind him is cool in the cinematics, but those cinematics don't have the overall story that needs to be intact. And it's going to be very interesting to see how that translates.
I think there's some
What's up,
potential for
Zax?
some amazing visual gags with
Oh.
Echo's power.
Yeah, it's
Like, just
gonna
thinking
be
back to, like,
Dynasties
what
and
Disney
Dystopia.
animators used to do back in the 50s. Like all the crazy little creative things he can do, because it's basically teleport.
Yeah.
What's up,
Pretty
Zax? Thanks for
interesting,
joining us, bro. I think you cut out there, bud. Melvin, what's up? What's going on, sir? And Steven, thanks for joining us, bro. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We got like 38 people watching us right now. This is great. Yeah, so like getting into this scene, we see Victor, and he's kind of mourning the loss of Sky, and he starts reading her journal, and she's like, I know this will probably never see the light of day, but watching you, how you work so tirelessly to make the world a better place, well, I couldn't have forgive myself if I didn't try. And like Victor is like crying over the loss of Sky, which is a really well done scene.
It's one of the criticisms that people try to make, where, oh, we don't know who Sky is, so why should we care? Which is missing the point of Sky. Sky has been in the show since episode 4, and she's kind of been in the background, just being an assistant. But the point of her character really is to not know who she is until she's dead, to make that hit more impactful with Victor, because that's Victor's point of view as well. He didn't know Sky at all. She was just an assistant to him.
He's a workaholic.
And
he didn't really have the chance to know anyone, not even his best friend. And oh my gosh, she was like fridged. I'm triggered.
Yeah,
like I could see someone making that argument, like she was quote unquote fridged, but this kind of thing happens all the time, where you're like, oh, like there's this person in the office or at your job, and you get along with them, but you don't really care to get to know them all that well, and then you only learn a lot about them after they die, which can be pretty impactful.
Yeah. And then we see
First few times
Victor.
watching the show, I didn't really
Go ahead.
I didn't really
bro.
care about Victor that much before, but like rewatching it this time, like I definitely cared about him a lot more. He just gets overshadowed a bit. I guess it just depends on which character you relate to, but like I found him a lot more compelling this time around.
Stephen here has an interesting take.
I found him
quite. Sorry, Heimer. Like Sky was amazing. I think she's in the cube.
I think we talked about that last week, but yeah, I don't know. I think it works better if she's dead. Obviously, we saw her disintegrate into dust, and her clothes got left behind. So she is in the cube. She's naked. I'll tell you that much.
Well, Adam Warlock was naked when he was stuck in the Tesseract.
You don't need clothes in the cube. No, but I mean, I think it's better because it's like, you know, it's that whole woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like if his eyes were open, if he was looking around on himself, stop focusing on, you know, his ailments, he would have noticed that, yeah, he had a pretty potential girlfriend there going on that she was, you know, kind of
He had
infatuated
a pretty good
with him.
life.
But honestly, wouldn't that give him even like the same motivation like he already has? So let's say if he was dating her, he would still be like, well, shit, I'm going to be dying anyway. So I don't want to do that to her. So in order for me to, you know, avoid that, I'll, you know, keep focusing on my work so that way I can try and be with her as long as I can. I think that motivation will still be there.
I think
Whether
it's
or
a
not they
different.
kept her.
I think it's a different motivation here. Instead of it being a motivator, his motivator is to save himself for his own work.
Right.
And the thing that pulls him away from engaging in his work and indulging in this dark magic is realizing that it's now hurting people. It's the line that he has at the end of the show. In pursuit of great, we failed to do good. Seeing what's this thing is capable of gives him this perspective on it, and he realizes that he would rather die than let this thing go chaotically and gain more power, however it gains power.
Yeah, like because
Well, this
even
thing's
like when he's
basically
trying
become like the Ring of Power at this point.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
the Ring of Power. I don't know about the Ring of Power.
Yeah, you know, it's
but-
like, well, it's like controlling him. You know, it's
It
not
is
just his
controlling him
motivation.
now.
It's
It is
his
controlling
life
him.
force at this point.
It goes to the previous point as well
Can't
about
even
magic
leave.
not being sentient in the universe. I think the implication I've got, certainly for the last few episodes, is that they are building to this idea that the magic does have certainly a will, and if will implies sentience, then sentience as well. The magic system acts to save Victor in this episode, does it not? I'm pretty sure it sort of dictates his actions, at least to some
Mhm.
degree. So like I think they're
Yeah,
building the
it
suggestion that it
stops him
does have
from
some
leaving.
sense of.
Yeah, it stops him from
It-
leaving, and when he tries to destroy it, it like disables him again.
Yeah, like like this scene right here. He's taking the stool and he wants to smash the hex core, and he's just like it zaps him. It literally cripples him, and then we get to the next. I think it goes right to the next scene, which would be Mbessa getting her. Yeah, this is the scene where he goes down to the floor, he gets crippled, and then we get to this shot there, Andrew, which I thought you would appreciate. Just the foot rubbing right here. So
I'm not a fuck
yeah.
guy. All right, leave me alone.
I was gonna start
You
calling you
clearly
Quentin
are, though.
Tarantino.
You know, I was
look at you
shocked
go
when
there.
I saw that when she died.
Oh my god.
What I thought
Alright.
what was going to happen is when she got killed, or that transfer thing happened.
See you, buddy.
I thought that magician that saved Jace's life in the very beginning with the magic, which was a flashback. I thought he was like going to come out of the cube or something of that extent. I was like, okay.
They do
Maybe
suddenly
give-
wizard again.
Yeah, like I don't know. I thought, because they showed it as a flashback, and I thought maybe they're gonna bring him again, when it matters the most or something. So
Wizard Ex Machina.
yes, so I thought that was the moment, because that was the closest that he was pushing that, that thing. So I was like, okay, maybe we're gonna see this guy come in. And I was like, nope, I guess not.
Monolithic, thanks for joining us. Just this comment or your comment here. Sky is almost 100% disintegrated since she was essentially a replacement for the shimmer that Victor didn't have enough of for the transmutation. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting back to this, we see Mbessa with her twink getting her feet rubbed, and and she's enjoying the luxury of the Piltover, and then Mel rushes in and
Oh, yummy.
spills the wine and wants to speak to her mother. And in this conversation, like Mel kind of hears the real reason why Ambessa's here. I hope I'm saying that right. Like she's just saying, like, you march back to your ship and get the hell out of my city. And she's like, get a hold of yourself. I taught you better. And then she starts getting into saying like Piltover isn't your testing ground, and to her mother. And and she Mel's like saying, I want to protect the city from the people like you. And Bessa's just like, I can't believe you'd start. I would set the world ablaze to protect our family. Mentioning like, I thought, and Mel's like, I stopped being part of this family the moment you cast me out, and why did you? Yeah, so like, there's like, it's a heated conversation, mother-daughter conversation happening here, and then Ambessa like waves the guard off, and then tells the Mel what the real reason is like they're not just stopping at the son or her brother. They plan on doing a lot more, and she needs the technology that Piltover has to have this war with this other was it planet or like, I can't remember what they
kingdom.
Kingdom. Yeah.
It's season 2 for that stuff, isn't it? Because I mean, we've not had a huge amount by way of information as to who any like these other people might happen to be. So I imagine that's the stuff we'll see in season 2. Otherwise, I mean, the scene's another good example of these sort of unintended actions creating monsters of each other, because you have Mel, who is only who she is and presents in part who she is because her mother drove her away, and her mother only drove her away because Mel made her feel pity and sadness and vulnerability, and which she couldn't afford to do in order to protect the family. So it's people driving each other without meaning to take the most extreme sort of polarized positions.
I just find it funny that in the scene, the twink was looking at her like, should I take care of her or not? Like she, like he was just looking back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good scene for both of these characters at this point in the show. And Bessa is only in the show for like this scene, the scenes from last episode. She's not in the show that much, but she has a presence throughout the whole show. And I think this is where her presence is defined throughout the rest of the show in terms of the earlier episodes. When she talks about the reason she banished Mel was because that Mel weakened her, and how she couldn't deal with like looking her in the eyes whenever she made a decision to keep the family safe. So the best thing to do was to keep her away from the danger that was the home kingdom. And I think that's going to be really interesting to follow in season 2.
So my theory is that I think Mel is actually going to be dead, in season 2 due to that, due to the ending. And I think the mother is going to take over as one of the new council members.
Yeah, we can talk about it more in.
It seems
I guess if we want to do the end season, if we want to do end
military
season
ambitions in
predictions.
Piltover.
Yeah. Well, the comment that I like the best is like, we need that weapon. Let the war unfold, and you come home and take your place at my side, where you belong. And that hits Mel real hard here. Like, she's like kind of dumbfounded that her mother still cares for her that much. Your typical mother-daughter relationship. I would go ahead, Andrew.
Also, how the cinematography in this specific scene as well helps enforce the themes of the show. We have this shot where Mel, the character who has been this shot is great. Mel, who's been in control of everything this entire show and is the richest person of Piltover, is now under the influence of someone else, a greater, I guess you could call a greater threat. And she is being controlled. Good stuff.
I like how this background looks kind of just like the painting she did. I mean, like you can't.
It is the painting.
Okay.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is the painting, isn't
I
it?
thought she was standing outside.
No way.
I also like how
it's way too.
clever.
It is.
Yeah. No,
that's clever.
I think it's real.
I think it's too big.
It might be the scenery that she painted, but You know what I do like is how Mel is the size of one of her mom's legs. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on
Look at
there?
the pipes. Look at the pipes on Ambessa.
Huge.
Crush 5 watermelons at a
Thunder
time.
thighs, man.
Is there
Don't threaten me with a good time, Andrew.
Like,
Is there anybody on the show that would?
Yeah, Andrew.
All right.
No,
Death
aside from
by
Andrew,
I
Stew.
would.
things-
I would.
She's too
Andrew
old for me.
Mayer.
You should
personally.
probably ask Andrew,
No.
what was it like acting in the same scenes as Ambessa?
Oh my god.
What's she like on set?
I'm not taking this harassment.
Aaron Taylor Johnson might.
Uh,
Aaron Taylor Johnson might.
Oh, true. Really? Yeah.
yeah, that's the painting. Yeah, that's the painting. I think she had it on a. Oh my god, she
'Cause I know
did
it
a
comes into
smaller
play
version.
later at the end of the episode. The pain.
Yeah. Well, everything comes back into play in this episode. So there's a lot of circling back. We're getting a lot of people in here. Thank you for joining us. Marco, thank you. Monolithic, thanks for joining us. We have like 45 people watching. Thank you. Hit that like button, please. I greatly appreciate it. And please subscribe. And please subscribe to these guys. These guys put out great content. Like Platoon needs the subs. So like help them out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Platoon,
little
up
helps.
and coming YouTuber. He's,
Yeah.
he's a little small guy over there.
Yeah. So so we get to the next scene, which I think goes back to Victor here. He's in the sewage in the Undercity here, and he's like, this is reflects back to, I think it's what, episode 2 or 3, where like he's contemplating suicide here, like jumping off, but it was Jace that was actually doing it in that episode earlier in the series, and Victor saved Jace. And right here we have Victor contemplating like leaping off, and then Jace walks in at the right moment to kind of
Doesn't he
save
say,
Victor.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Yep. Yeah, he
Isn't
says
that
the
what-
same thing.
that's the
Yeah.
line.
The
Yeah.
best thing, I think this is their best scene, just because for me it tied them off in a good place for the finale, because watching it the first time I was worried about this dynamic and how it would end up, because sometimes with like these science bro archetypes, they kind of they split apart, and then like something happens at the midpoint and they never come back together to like resolve anything.
Mhm.
But this scene brought them together very nicely. And of course you have the line at the end, in pursuit of great we failed to do good, which applies to a lot of the show.
Well, not only that,
The
like
monster you made.
Victor's pleading with Jace to destroy the hex core there, because he can't do it.
Mhm.
And he's pleading with him like, you have to do it, I can't. And Jace is like agreeing with him. So like, yeah, basically what you're saying there, Andrew. But it's a good, it's a great scene. It's a throwback to earlier in the series, but reversed.
Yeah. We lost our dream.
Yes.
And and also like the hole cut in the cement here, the cement wall is like shaped like a skull. Oh,
Where's that? I didn't even see that.
play it. Go back a bit. It's shaped like a skull. If you go to the silhouette of them in the background, it's shaped like a little
Kind of.
cartoon skull.
Kind of does. It also looks a little bit like a keyhole.
Yeah, that
Like
too.
you could say it looks like a keyhole. Like this is where the key to their dreams was, but they've lost it.
The journal. They're right. Oh, what did I do here? Okay.
Ah, Netflix.
Did you press 0?
Yes. Right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So is that what you're
Shot's
talking about?
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it's a
does
good
look
shot.
a little bit. That's a really good shot.
So then we get to this part right here, which is fantastic. Silco sitting at the desk, and you know, going through all the madness that's happened over a short period of time, and then Finn, Renee, and Savika enter, and Finn thinks he's swinging a big stick here, and it's not really the case. Finn is basically telling Silco that let me bring it up here. Jesus, where is it? Anyway, I went way too fast. So yeah, Finn's like basically telling Silco, your time has come. You've aged out, and we need the younger crew to kind of take over. And he's basically, his one line is like, now here's a man who understands what it takes to run an enterprise. Like he's reminiscing. So when he took out Vander, and the whole package you were, always 2 steps ahead, but time's lapped you, old man. And Silco's like, you're with him now, eh? And like they're surrounding him and like trying to intimidate Silco. And it's a great scene, thinking like you don't know where this is going to go, because like Savika goes behind him and you see the sword kind of lower as Finn's mentioned this to Silco.
It's a tricky one to pull off, because it's always hard whenever you're trying to drum up a tension in a scene like this, when a choice seemingly has to be made. You're always sort of straining against the audience's expectation of what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that makes a lot of modern things so boring is that they're just so predictable. You know what's going to happen many scenes before it actually happens. And Arcane actually does it does a really good job in this scene. The best job it does is of course the final scene, but in actually making it seem like there is a real chance that he's going to die in this scene, which is a really hard thing to do. But they do it because they've set up over the course of the last 2 episodes that Sarika is, she's been talking to the other people. She does have doubts. She's not satisfied. And also they play it in this specific scene. You see Silco is actually kind of scared. So he doesn't know. He has a bit of faith in loyalty, but he looks pretty terrified before she immediately takes the choice, which means that even if in the back of your mind you're saying they're not going to kill him off yet, like they have to save something for later, you're still wondering, but they might do it, because they've actually raised the prospect quite well.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like when Game of Thrones was good and you're like, oh my gosh, are they going to kill off this character? Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Like, even if they're pretty well established, like no one feels safe. It's really good, but it's pretty interesting that Savika does choose to stay loyal to Silco, because her faith in him overrides her frustrations just a little bit.
Well, her faith lies, and her loyalty lies in her belief more than him. It's the reason why she left Vander, was because Vander no longer had the same belief as she did, whereas she still finds the same belief in Zahn in Silco. So even though she's frustrated with Silco and how he runs things, he still has that dream of independent Zahn. And that's something that Savika has as well.
It comes out in their dialogue as well, because when he asks whether she was tempted, she doesn't say no because of you. She says no, not by him. The implication of which being that if he had been a better, more viable candidate, then yes, she would genuinely have gone against Silco. So like you say, it's not about Silco, it's just about their shared belief.
Yeah.
Hey Lance, thanks for joining us tonight. Just pop in and say hi. Jay feels like a Jay Goodwin, thanks for popping in. We got Sammy 3-Pete in the house. We got a Racerhead, thanks for joining us, bro. And like I said, Sammy 3-Pete's here. Thanks for joining. We got like 50 people watching. Please hit that like button, leave a comment. Getting back to this, the scene here. We see like Savika behind him, and we see the sword kind of lower here. She's like obviously gonna it's indicating that she's gonna stab Silco and kill him, and then she kind of just swings the sword, cuts the glass right here, and then we see that Silco's still alive, and it's Renee's cut in the cheek, and it's Finn that's like got slashed across the throat and the face.
I love that visual. Like her blade created so much friction that it kind of heated it up and melted his weird jaw thing. It's really good.
Well, there's also the swipe, which the swipe is so huge that she could have like you're like, oh god, did she like kill everyone in the room? because it does go over Silco, but it's so fast that you can't like tell what's going on.
Yeah, you can't tell if she just scalped
And
Silco.
Silco wasn't certain what the
Yeah.
outcome was going to be. Like he wasn't 100% sure of his intentions in this moment, which I think is kind of interesting, because for the most part he's been completely in control, but now he's like not in control. So Vika's sort of like covering for him, which is an interesting development through their dynamic.
Well,
Am I
even
still
the
cutting
comment,
out really bad?
not as
I think
bad,
you're on a
but
delay. I
yeah,
think you're delaying a bit. If
Yeah.
you leave
Okay.
the stream and then come back, it should fix it. Just like the reset.
I think I'm
stream
gonna try that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it should work.
the,
BRB.
the comment that he makes to Renee here, I would have killed your son for this. Unlike her son's already dead. Like,
Yeah.
like just like it, it's like shit. And I thought, yeah, I thought, though, I suppose we were ahead of that account. And he's like, get out. And then and he turns to Savika like, were you tempted? And she just kind of just puffs, and she's like, and she just really like acknowledging that she wasn't really, she was kind of debating it, but not really. She, like, I think she mentions that something about she would never follow
Not for a
someone
worm,
like,
not
yeah,
like a worm like
yeah,
him.
yeah, exactly. I gotta bring Amateur back in here, see if that works. There you go, Amateur. So yeah, then we jump to the next scene here, which would be Jace and Silco meet. I believe it's after this, after everything's said and done. He's debating everything, and we see him we see Jace here on the counters, and Silco starts walking up, and he just kind of mentions the perfect place for an ambush, and Jace is like just kind of like looking at him like what exactly is going to happen here, because I think he starts pulling out a piece of paper and puts it against his chest.
I like their body language right here too. Jace is standing more in an upright position, and Silco's kind of slouching a little bit. You can just tell that he's tired and he just wants to get this over with.
He also thinks he is in control in this scene, and he thinks he can manipulate Jace, so he doesn't really care.
I think I kind of think they're both hesitant, and like they're just kind of puffing out their chests, like hoping that they can come to a resolution. I don't think anyone's like too confident at this point. I would say Silco's kind of faking it, because even he says like perfect place for an ambush. Like I don't think he's, because he knows he's a wanted man. I think he's kind of done at this point.
Silco's kind of keeping his cards close to his chest, whereas Jace is trying to take that sort of like honesty approach. You know, it's like laying it all out. It's like, okay, so this is how things are. Like, we're gonna go to war and like we're gonna win. What do you want to do about it? Like, I don't want to kill all of you. Like extending an olive branch, and it's sort of put him off guard because he's just like, wait, what?
Yeah, one of the things that I like.
Okay.
The one thing that I like that the scene sets up, I think it was a quote. It was a quote from something talking about the French Revolution. It was, I forget who said it. I'm terrible with names, but it was along the lines of once you're finished with the conflicts of your time, you will then immediately be presented with another one. And this part of the story is the conflict of your time, and kind of foreshadowing or is acknowledging the threat of the outside world, specifically with the setting on the city walls with these cannons kind of pointing towards a threat that's beyond their borders, setting up for season 2. It's very interesting.
Yeah, like they're
It's also
talking
a Pink
about
Floyd quote.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. He
Yeah,
talks
when at last
about
the
him.
work is done, don't lay down. Time to dig another one. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like Silco's just is like, you're afraid, and Jace says, I am afraid, and I think it takes one to recognize the other, and in this moment, and they kind of come to a compromise, and then Silco starts making the demands of, he wants the trades, he wants everything, and Jace is like, who are you to, we could wipe you out if we wanted to, and then Silco's still trying to put up that front, like he's got I got a good hand here. Like he's got but he's got nothing. He's lost.
Well, he does. He has the platter presented to him. He could get everything he wants as long as he gives up Jinx.
Yes.
If he gives up Jinx, he wins, or at least his belief in everyone in Zon wins.
Yeah.
But that's
the gemstone and Jinx. Yeah.
That's the thing that sets him off and makes him not agree with it.
The people who brought you this scene will have
Isn't there anything
many a
so
sunset over the
good?
ocean. I'll bet everyone's life on that. Oh, okay. Great scene. This whole episode, there's a lot of references to a lot of things, especially at the end, and I'll mention it at the end. But yeah, this scene's fantastic. This is almost like Heat between De Niro and Pacino.
Yeah,
when they're having that conversation in the restaurant.
Yep. You finally got these two powerhouses, and they only share this one brief scene together.
Yeah. Great scene.
One of my favorite scenes.
Really well done. Yeah. I love these kind of scenes.
And I'll give you your nation of Zon.
Yeah.
And then he leaves.
Yep. And then we get to this shot right here with like Heimerdinger bringing Echo back, and he's kind of in awe of what's in front of him.
Oh yes, I just could not comprehend such a beautiful society living in peace like this outside of Piltover. It's just unfathomable. I don't know how they do it. Still in my 200 years, I did not know how they came together under such circumstances.
This next shot, like right after this shot is great because they do like camera rolls. You never see camera rolls done well, like where the camera's like tilting from side to side, Yeah, nice. It's cool. Subtle things like that I like.
Yeah, and then Heimerdinger's talking about the hoverboards, saying that they're inefficient. They're not the best and not the safest way to go around. So why do they use them? And Echo
which is stupid because they what are they supposed to do? Like they're in this like extremely poor environment, this community that's like trying just to survive day by day, and he's just like picking apart their technology. It's just like,
well, he's picking it apart because he doesn't he's naive.
It was unfathomable. They were hovering on little boards. What was I
want to go to Pennsylvania and make fun of all the Amish to their face. Just be like, you guys, come on.
And it's like, why would you make this form of travel or transportation when it's so unsafe? And it's like, well, it's fun. Which is kind of Echo's
well, it's like a kid, it's like telling a kid, like, hey, why you guys ride those skateboards? You're gonna hurt yourself eventually. It's like, yeah, duh. It's like
this is Jay, good comment. It shows Heimerdinger's disconnection with the reality of their existence. That's exactly it.
They do a few camera rolls in this scene for some reason. It's cool. It gives it that 90s like television commercial vibe where like the camera's always got a whoa, like that kind of stuff. I love it. Like a 90s cereal commercial is what it gives me the vibes of.
I usually get Nickelodeon vibes when I see that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but it's done not hokey.
Meant to kind of purvey a sense of childish wonder on the part of Heimerdinger.
Right. He's so little.
Jordan Peterson's rule: don't bother the kids when they're skateboarding. Yeah, exactly.
Is that his rule? That sounds like a guy who's been beaten up by a gang of skateboard punks.
He probably has that.
Don't leave those skateboarders alone.
Now, see
then-
here, you sons of bitches.
Then we get
No,
to
I don't know why
Silco.
you would do that. Why? Why? Just leave me the fuck alone. Why? I'm not a bad man. I'm just a psychologist.
Then we get to this where Silco is sitting at Vander's statue, and he's talking to
I
Vander.
loved that scene.
Where he's just like mentioning to him like, I never, all we ever wanted, the boy didn't even haggle, and what do I lose but problems? Oh, it all makes sense now, brother. And he's realizing what Vander was doing, and like after everything that's happened, he realizes like the difficulties of like trying to keep the underworld safe, right? The lane safe. It's all hitting him now, and as he's sitting there discussing this with and drinking heavily, we get this part right here where
Someone's listening.
someone's listening.
But it's also just on that line about it all making sense. I mean, I don't think it's not just that he understands how difficult it is keeping this place together. I think it's that he understands what sacrifices you have to make for your family, which is because the line about all the effectively his daughter, which is this is confirms that this is how he thinks of Jinx, and he's prepared to sacrifice absolutely everything, all their dreams, the dreams that he shared with Vander once upon a time, that he attacked Vander for having given up on. And he now sees that he's also prepared to give up on these dreams to protect his family, which happens to be the same family in the case of Jinx. So it's more the family angle, I think, than just sort of protecting the Undercity.
Is there anything more undoing than a
this point-
daughter?
Mhm.
I mean, at this point, he's kind of the Undercity is kind of a monster he's created. If it's a really terrible choice to have to protect Jinx when giving her up, just because of so many of his problems. Like he's created so much bad for himself just because he's decided to take this radical approach, and he couldn't understand why Vander might try to keep the peace with the Topsiders. It's really good, and like Platoon was saying, it ties into the theme of the episode and kind of one of the overall themes of the show really really well.
Oh, did he cut out there?
Oh, am I back?
What's up, Matt? Yeah.
Shit.
What's up,
I
Matt?
don't
Thanks for
think he,
joining
I
us.
don't think he cut out.
I don't think he cut out either.
Okay.
Yeah, I just ramble.
Well, and the thing that is interesting is he's not going to give up Jinx, not only because it's his daughter, but also because to him she is Zahn in the sense that she is like the perfect amalgamation of what he believes in. Like we were talking about in episodes 5 and 6, letting the monster out and capitalizing on that strength that you get when you indulge yourself in bad behaviors. She is that, and that's what he admires. That's what when he's talking
Especially
about
now
betrayal.
that she's been juiced up by the shimmer that he's been poisoning the people of Zong with, and probably some of the Topsiders too.
And so not only is he not going to give up Jinx because it's his daughter again, but also she is what he believes in, which would be betraying his own belief.
Mm-hmm. And then we get kicked to this great scene, which would be the last drop, where we see Savika playing cards in the last drop in the bar here. We're seeing everyone sitting around doing
Licking each
shimmer.
other's heads.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting, honestly, I wasn't expecting Vi to go after Savika again. I thought she was going straight for him.
Oh, I was totally anticipating that. I think it was just setting up. She's already encountered Savika twice. So this is where, again, another reference to. So this fight here is heavily influenced by Rocky 3 with Clubber Lang. So, like, you're seeing
this head lick. This is what I do to my bald friends. press play just for oh
All people are evil.
That's a Zach when I ever beat him.
I think this is Zach's love interest, Savika here. So there you go, Zach.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we get to this part where he goes up. This loony goes up, puts a coin into the jukebox. It's playing a Western song, some Western music, and then this guy's dancing around like he's Buffalo Bill from like Silence of the Lambs. And then he turns around and there's
Wait, go back. That guy kind of, you know who that guy kind of looks like? He kind of looks like Sting as Fade Routh
Oh, yeah.
in
I
the
see that.
84 Doom.
Also, has his finger been cut off and reattached, or is that just a tattoo?
I think it might be a tattoo.
Is that the kid from episode 1 that was trying to take the loot from the backpack? Is that the same guy or did he die?
No.
I think Vander snapped his neck.
Yeah. Also, the other one became a monster, right? And yeah, he died. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think a couple of them are alive still, though. Like the one where
Right.
I think Milo like broke his nose with his forearm. I think that guy's in the show in the background, but his nose has been
Fake
replaced.
nose.
Yeah, fake nose, which is neat.
Same thing with that one lady. She's got a fake nose. Do you think that's from like snorting the shimmer, or did people just lose their
Probably.
noses often?
Maybe from like the toxic,
Maybe.
The air.
toxicity of the air.
That's
Some
another
people
thing I
just-
like that
Yes.
Silco keeps saying.
Maybe
is like
the-
having to share the air with you people. Like it seems to be a
Yeah.
common problem with him. Like he likes his air down there.
Yeah, maybe the shimmer does have adverse effects on where they intake it from, like the crack does here. Like people
Crocodile.
who are addicted to crack, they like
With
have
the
really
zombie
rotted
virus.
teeth. Maybe it does the same thing to the skin around their nose.
Trank. Doing that trank, getting your fingers rotting off. Hell yeah.
We have a lot of crocodile up here.
Cool.
Nice.
No, Sammy, it's the index finger, not the thumb. There's stitches around
I
the
think
finger.
both
there.
of those are. I think both of those are tattoos.
Yeah,
They look too undefined to be rings.
Well, right here is there's stitches. There's like little lines, like it looks like a stitch, like it was stitched back on.
I think that's
that
a
one
tattoo.
just looks like a circle around his thumb.
This looks like a little elastic band ring thing. So, but he looks like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs to me. Like, would you?
I think he looks more like-
me?
I think he looks
So,
more
yeah.
like Fade Routh in Dune 84.
Yeah, he definitely has like rock star vibes with the eyeliner and the
Yeah.
black tight clothes. But
He
the point
pulls
is,
out
it's
a
definitely this whole
tiny
scene has this like Wild West vibe, Western saloon,
Yeah.
the old stranger coming in, cleaning up. the
Yeah, the kind of
Yeah.
good, the bad, the ugly here, where it's like a little
Quick and the Dead.
standoff, and Quick and the Dead, another one. Everyone's get out. Savika's saying get out, and then we have round 3, and she's loading up with the shimmer, and Vi's getting the guns all pumped up and ready to box, and we see round 3, and we see him go back and
I think
forth.
this is only
for-
round 2.
It's 3 because there's one in the alley, and then there's one out. There's another one in the bar prior to this.
What?
Yeah, they had 2 fights. I'm pretty sure
What?
they had 2 fights before this. Did they
The
not?
only one I remember is the one in the alleyway.
Yeah, I'm not remembering a second one, but
The other bar fight? I don't think there's another bar fight. No, because after she fights Savika, she goes down, like further into the fissures. Has
This
the
is-
conflict with Silco.
This is 3. That's T 83 saying this is fight number 3.
I'm going to watch the entire show.
T Pro seems to be like one of the most knowledgeable on the show and the lore. So
That's
I will
I'll
type
try.
it up and I will take a look on Google. How many times did Savika and,
Or I'll just go into the actual show and watch it.
Kind of better nowadays. It's like we're start asking ChatGPT. It's easier than Google.
So you would take the AI first before do it yourself.
Okay, it says only
It's
twice.
happening, folks.
There you go,
the
Andrew.
AI
Only
takeover
twice.
is coming.
We have
Right.
to get it
Every time,
right.
baby. Every time, baby. I'm right, baby.
Which
Yeah,
leads
no,
to which makes it even better because in Rocky 3 they fought twice. Rocky loses the Clubber Lang the first fight, and then the second fight with this one right here, which I want to get to. Savika knocks out Vi. Well, doesn't knock her out. She knocks her to the ground, and she's lying in a puddle of blood. This is a sick fight sequence too, though.
Oh yeah, I think this is one of the best in the whole show.
Yeah, it's a pretty killer fight sequence, and it's comical too.
And stop for a minute to drink. That's always cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely those fights that go on too long, so both sides like take a breather, then go back at it again.
I think that's
you run out of gas.
Really is a real. I think that's a real take. Because that's why, I've never seen it in person. Somebody just taking a drink in between in the middle of a fight. I would like to see something like that happen, but yeah.
Hang out with me on a Saturday. Hang out with me on a Saturday night.
It's a bit of a painkiller. Oh, my nose is broken. Just have to get a beer, guys. Yeah, let's do this.
You need like hard liquor for that. You want to feel that sting in your throat. Take your mind off of all the aching pain everywhere else in your body.
So this part right here, this is such a rocky moment where she's lying on the ground and then Vander pops up and basically, get up, you bum. I taught you better than that. Get up.
Well, your God needs work.
Yeah,
I wish I could say it gets easier, kiddo, but I'd be lying.
Yeah, this is such a Rocky 3 moment. Because
I could totally see Mickey saying that.
Yes, it is. It's right out of Rocky 3. And then Vi gets up, spits her tooth out, and drops the 1 mitt, and it's just like, let's go. And then Savika, you would be
her arm or whatever.
Like the blowing, like she's busted nose and she's blowing the snot out. Like that would okay, whatever.
She would have blood would be spurting out of her nose like crazy after that.
Oh,
it's always some like mysterious tooth in the back of your head that falls out. It's never like one of your front.
Yeah, exactly.
Like super obvious and makes you ugly for the rest of the show.
Yeah, like Viggo Mortensen getting his tooth chipped.
Yeah, when the reality is it's way easier to lose one of your front teeth than your back teeth. Your back teeth are like in your head, pretty good.
Yes. If you fight, you never blow your nose when it's busted or severely damaged, because it hampers your breathing. Because it actually closes up. You can't breathe because it gets just filled with blood, and it just now you become a mouth breather, and now you're not getting the proper oxygen that you need for the fight. So
I'm already a bit of a mouth breather. I notice when I listen to my videos, and in hindsight, I'm like, God, I gotta stop inhaling in the mic. Do it all the time. I'll do this snort thing.
Yeah,
Jay, this is Coyote Ugly.
You're just gonna get blood all over the place. If you blow your nose while you're fighting and it's broken, you're just gonna be blood all over the place. Ugh, that's not, and you're probably gonna get lightheaded. It's not gonna be fun.
Everyone thought there was 3 fights as well, which is funny. Mark Briscoe and Mike Foley have lost their front teeth. Yeah, she spits out a molar, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, there are 3.
There are 3 fights.
So you have. Do they not fight on the bridge in episode 3?
No.
Do they not actually encounter each other? I know they're both there.
No. They do look at each other, but they do not fight.
She goes to. I think what happens is she goes to fight her, but then Silco grabs her because he knows she's too good of a fighter for her, even though she's got the mitts and everything.
The one. Yeah.
Yes. I know. I thought there was 3.
And he sends the shimmer crack fiend at her.
Mm-hmm. The angel dust of the show.
Yeah. Julio, suddenly a tooth, like a molar, like the hardest one to knock out. So yeah, this scene is great. The Rocky 3 moment. She drops the 1 glove, and fights with 1 arm. And we see her loading up and Savika coming in, and great shot. I like the animation. The animation for this was fantastic. And then we see Vi pick up Savika by the arm and throw her into the bar, and
rip her arm off.
Rip her arm off and throw
the
bar.
remains into the jackbox or the jukebox. Sorry, that's another video game.
Jackbox, yeah,
Jackbox.
something else.
And then Vi just kind of collapses, and then is like, go. I think she walks to the bar here, or to the mitt, and then good old Jinx right behind her saying, "Good job, sis," and knocks her out from behind.
Way to go,
And-
sis.
Yeah,
Or good on him or something. Yeah. But I did
Boom.
like that she just viscerally screamed after the fight. It's a nice touch.
yes. So that now we get to this part right here where Victor and Jace are with the council, and they're pleading with the council that they, well, Jace mentions that he's made a pact, or like a peace with Silco, and that we need to avoid, like, I've seen it firsthand, and we need to avoid like war at all costs, because no one wins. And the council started erupting and getting upset. Meantime, Mel's just kind of just sitting there, just like listening at everything that's happening amongst everyone here. As we get to hear, any thoughts about this council meeting? Because like this is like kind of an obvious scene, I would think.
I don't give a fuck of what you guys think. Step
Yeah,
up.
yeah, pretty much. Everyone's thinking about money first. Like they don't even care about the the underworld and the lanes and all that stuff. And Jace's, I think, what's the speech that he gives them here? I don't care about what you think. I only care about what you think, pointing to Mel.
Yeah.
Saying like
Yeah.
he's
Basically
ready to
telling
get-
everyone, like, yo, I'm hitting that. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's getting
What's up,
pissed.
But I also like how he makes
Yeah.
Victor say the thing. He's like, I'm just gonna leave it up to my partner here to tell you how it is, instead of it's obviously my same idea also. But yes, like
Yeah.
offers on independence, and everyone freaks out, including Gearhead. And seeing Gearhead angry was like, oh, I want more Gearhead, man. It's my
Season
favorite
2, you can get to see
Yeah,
him go
Walk
like
Tambor.
full rage monster in season 2. I did. My only
Yeah, I
problem
wanna
with this
see
is that
him
the same problem as with like all of the council scenes is that they are just there to move things along, and they don't really work internally like at all.
Exactly.
But like Jace
Mhm.
has offered a peace deal to Silco. Okay, pretty sure
That's why
that's
I'm
Do
not.
we
glad
really
episode
need
is.
to?
Pretty sure one counselor
Like,
doesn't
we've already
get to
got
do
a lot
that.
of fully
Yeah.
fleshed out characters to juggle. Do we really need to add more by showing Wat Tambor's tragic backstory? Like he's got PTSD.
No,
and that-
not asking for fully fleshed out characters for each one of the council people. I'm just saying that the council doesn't actually work in the way that it's shown working here. And then when they immediately reject the deal, and then the next time we see them, which is shortly before, they all get wiped out. They have decided no, they're immediately going to accept the deal after all, even though Jace has absolutely no authority to propose it, which was the point they were making to begin with. Like it's there for dramatic reasons. It's not there for like sort of diegetic sense-making reasons. Which, when you're talking about a
I
show
got
which is as good as Arcane, it's a problem. It's not a huge problem. It doesn't derail it. It's acceptable. It's just it's not quite up to the same quality as everything else.
Well, that's why I, for one, was happy with the
I
ending
gotcha.
of the show. I was kind of like, oh, but the idea. I mean, we'll get to that
Yeah.
later. Actually, I'll talk about it.
I think
Yeah.
I think if Jace threatened to like put more police investigations into how they make their money, that would be more believable as a threat to coerce them. But we don't get any of that in this scene.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is kind of it's kind of a given, but anyway, it's a very short scene. We get to this where Vi starts waking up.
Oh,
She's tied up
shit.
into the chair. Now, this whole scene, this whole act right here, with the table and everyone at the table with Vi and with Jinx and everything, that's directly out of Death of the Family, the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo series
I was
of
just
Batman.
gonna say that after.
Yeah,
Damn it.
yeah, it's almost identical, almost. So
It
again,
really
another-
reminded me of The Killing Joke when I first watched it. You know, like his freaky carnival where he's got the throne made out of baby dolls and everything.
You know, I
That was-
also got Alice in Wonderland.
Well,
when I
yeah.
saw
Yeah.
that, that's another property that I thought of.
The weird
Since
Mad
we're all
Hatter
listing in
two-parter.
inspirations, I'm going to go for Red Dragon as mine because there's the dinner party scene at the end of that where he puts a nice platter on the table and it's a bit of the guy's brain inside it, and they're all
Yeah.
arranged
you mean
around the
Hannibal?
table, tied to their
My
chairs.
mother
Oh, is that in
always
Hannibal,
taught
not
me
Red
that
Dragon?
it
Yeah,
was
Hannibal.
good.
it's Hannibal.
Oh, Hannibal,
Try
yes.
new
that's the
Red
one.
Dragon was Ray Fiennes.
Of course it was. Yeah, no, Hannibal is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that scene makes up for that whole movie, honestly, in my opinion.
Oh, that scene. I hate that scene solely because it came out in the same year as Silent Hill 2, and they decided to censor the scene where James is, spoiler alert, where James is smothering his wife because she's dying of cancer, but they don't decide to censor this scene as well. I'm like, bullshit. You know?
Jinx is talking. She's in kind of lurking in the shadows, and Vi's desperately trying to convince her, like, we can still fix this. You're still my sister. And Jinx is just kind of going through the motions here. And then we get to this part here where Jinx actually, where is it? Right here, confronts her sister and starts asking her, she actually asks her, are we sisters still? And Vi's just kind of like, yeah, of course we are. Like, I you don't know what I've gone through. I've slept on the cold floors in prison. I starved. I did all this because all I thought it was you. So like, Jinx is, she's going back and forth. She's struggling with this. Like, what is true? What is not true?
Yeah,
and
there's also the tension because, and I think it sort of comes out as, in a way, it's the way that Vi goes about trying to win her back, which slightly pushes her over the edge off to the other side, because it's this dichotomy between Jinx and Powder, and Vi is always talking to her as Powder, and she isn't Powder, and she's never going to be Powder again. And by so doing, she's kind of proving that she can't love Jinx as Jinx, and Jinx can't revert. That's not within her power. So it seems like a bit of a betrayal for Vi to constantly be saying, yes, of course, I love you, Powder. And then she throws back at Vi that she's changed as well. So they're neither of them are who they are anymore. So, of course, they can't go back and be as they were before, which is sort of Vi's whole pitch.
Damn it, dude. Why'd you have to go so deep?
She said.
That's why he's here. I love hearing his takes on like anything, really. Yeah, and then like she says, like I think Jinx says, like, you think Silco created this monster, and it was actually you that created the monster that you see.
Mic drop.
Which really,
she's like,
hurts.
get fucked.
And
Yeah.
the other thing that's interesting is another line that Jinx says. She's like, you were always there in the whispers in the walls or something. And you're the one that's kept me alive. And it's when she's saying she's saying it from the perspective of Jinx, not Powder. It's just there's like so much going on in the scene. And it's like half the episode. Like half the episode is just here, and it doesn't cut away at all. Which is surprising because it feels really quick, and like the tension is just balanced so well. There's not a point where it drops the ball on anything.
I don't remember.
It's just really
it
high
didn't feel
stakes
that
scene.
long.
It's half the episode.
I know, it's crazy. It didn't feel that long when I watched it the first time, and it didn't feel that long when I watched it the
I
second
know.
time.
It feels like a kind of like a 3-minute skit, but it's actually like like half the episode. And the funny thing too is she, like, to resonate with Jinx, like Vibe says, remember Clegg, or remember what's his name there? Klager and Milo. And here they are sitting at the table already. And when she turns around, she sees them, and she's just like, "Oh shit!" Like, she's really gone off the deep end here. Like, yeah, like, and like you see this, her snapping back and forth, the back and forth of Powder and Jinx, and Jinx is kind of overpowering it, and hearing everything that she's saying, like, I never meant to leave you. like I didn't mean to hurt you, and it actually hurts Jinx even more hearing that. And then like
Then
she
yeah, I can just imagine her like screaming out, "Then why did you leave?" You know, or something of that nature.
Why is
Mhm.
it always got to be the ones with blue hair? Always.
Well,
this
in
is
nature, bright colors are a sign of danger. So just remember that. Don't go picking up
Well,
a blue
they
snake or a blue frog.
well, it's funny. Some characters just in TV shows and animations and stuff like that are able to pull off hair color, different hair colors really well, except for the weirdos that you see wearing that color in public.
what's up, Tomby? Thanks for joining us, bro. Yeah, it gets like this is the part where she's talking about how she, encountered Caitlyn and she's, made something very nice to her, and then she's kind of lifting up the lid very slowly, like you're thinking that her head's gonna be there, or body part or something. And
Yeah.
it's just
This is the
like
first test that Jinx presents.
The great thing about it is it's actually kind of believable as well. That's the thing. Like you
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
genuinely think, oh well, you actually could. You are capable of this.
well, it's almost like a shot out of 7. Like it's what's in the box. What's in the box? Don't look in the box. Like
Yeah.
it's so intense. Like you're like you don't know what's in there, and Vi like turns away. She's even thinking, oh, like Caitlyn's in there. Like I'm gonna see a body part or her head, and she opens it up, and it's a little cupcake with the hex cube on there. So, and Jinx is just like, "What'd you think it was going to happen here?" And so
Yeah, I'm not
she
that
brings
messed up.
out,
What was you think, you little sicko?
yeah, and then she brings out Caitlyn, and we kind of get this kind of
Let's
Russian
put a
roulette
smile
kind of,
on that face.
yeah.
I'm surprised Soko didn't say a single word. When his
Well,
back
he's
was
wrapped
turned.
up.
He's wrapped up. He
Yeah.
can't really talk.
Oh, that's
He's
right. I'm
wrapped
sorry.
up.
I'm not
Yeah.
even looking at the screen at the moment. I'm still trying to finish
Okay.
this. So like, yeah.
Yeah. So like,
You can do no
Jinx-
wrong in our eyes, Zach.
Yay.
so yeah, we're missing someone. She like she's talking about how she paid a trip to her girl. She says girlfriend actually in this scene,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny, and she's like, we could put it all behind us. You'll never have to see him again, Powder. What do you say about her? Her name is Jinx. She's like she's just constantly going back and forth with like her internal dialogue, Jinx, which is like I think is amazing how they portray it in this series. It's so well done. And then she gives an option to shoot. I think it's Caitlyn, right? She's
Yeah.
gives her the gun, and you can have your sister back if all you have to do is just end her. And this shot, her eyes go back to brown here, and you don't see the pink shimmer. Like you see powder there, which I like. And then Vi's is like, I can't, and that solidifies Jinx's all it answers her questions pretty much. And then you see the pink come back into her eyes. Actually, I want to turn it back just a smidge, and you see the pink
Wait,
kind
they
of come
actually
back
did
into
the
her.
eye colors in that? Damn, dude.
Yeah, it's pink. Like even when she's in the shadow, her eyes
Wow.
are pink, and then when she talks to Vi, her eyes are brown.
Damn, these guys pulled
also-
all the stops.
Well, it's also like when, I mean, like she calls her Powder, and it's not like, she doesn't even respond to it. Like there's something, she does, that name does kind of perk something in her to a
Mhm.
degree. I mean, she is having an identity crisis in this scene, especially, obviously, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it's one thing if, like, you call her, another name, she doesn't respond to it, it doesn't even register to her head.
Mhm.
It's like when people call me Stu, I'm like, that's not my name. So like, I'm like, I'll just go right over my head.
Amateur, I guess he can't really say anything right now, but he's texting it in on the chat. Jinx is giving Vi the same ultimatum that Vander gives Selko. Jace gives Silco. yeah, this is a great. This whole sequence is great. Like you see, like not only the personality, you see the eye color, you see Vi struggle, you're seeing Jinx internally struggling with her psyche. You've seen Silco struggling. He so desperately wants to say something. He's struggling. Caitlyn's struggling. She wants to. She just wants to end Jinx and Silco. That's all she wants to do. Great shot, and then Silco actually has the opportunity to say something here, and yeah, trying to speak to see her eyes are pink there. And then like she takes it off, and he starts screaming at Vi, stop saying those things, and then like you see Caitlyn pick up the gun, the Gatling gun, and starts threatening. She tells Jinx to lower the gun, and we're not there yet. Right here.
Yeah, she gets that
sees the
glass.
burger. Yeah, she breaks the glass and she cuts the rope.
She shoots the Milo puppet, and then that breaks a glass, and then it ends up near Caitlyn.
Oh,
and then Caitlyn cuts herself out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then later, what I did like was Jinx, like once she sees that she's out, instead of being immediately scared, she's like, "How did you get out?" And so you can see her looking around, and she's like, there's a POV shot of her, and like there's a glisten on the glass. Like she's looking around, looking how she got out. It's a good little neat piece.
Yeah, I would agree with Gemma here that like the voice acting is done incredibly well, especially for Jinx.
Yeah, the voice acting is just incredible in this. Haley Steinfeld, I don't think she's that good of regular actress, but she's a really good voice actress.
Be careful, be careful. Yeah, be careful. Andrew is literally going to go through the screen.
Personally. I just didn't care. I didn't care for her in Hawkeye, but she does a really good job.
It's Hawkeye. No one acted well in that movie. In that show.
See what you've done? He's angry now.
What are you talking about?
I think he's about to. I think I just snapped him in a way I didn't earlier on stream.
You've got really eclectic taste though, because on the one hand, there's Haley Steinfeld, and then on the other hand, there's Nell's mum. Like, I'm trying to, what is the? How do you square those two things?
Andrew's simp powers are triggered. Yeah,
Haley Steinfeld is my wife. All right.
I thought it was Sydney Sweeney.
Also, her
What's
name.
that
I mean,
meme
is that how you
from
pronounce
Aladdin
her name?
3? Code Red.
Yeah, I want to get to the scene where she puts down the gun and she has that look in her face right here. The pink really comes out and she just knocks the shit out of Caitlyn
Super speed
on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Look at her face. It's the voice. The facial animations are they're insane. Look at it's just great.
I'd be pissing
What are her
expressive.
tattoos?
I would be
Those
pissing. I
clouds?
would be pissing myself. if
Yeah,
I
they're the
saw her
clouds
looking
from
at
the
me like that.
flare.
Okay. Just making sure it's not like frosting or something. Cupcake.
No, that looks like smoke.
It's
Sure.
the blue. I assume it's it's resemblant of the blue smoke from the flare that Vi gave her.
Ah.
Oh, that's right. Also, the actress for Yaira is also my wife. To be clear, I have two wives.
Well, your first step is to say their
Isn't
name
that
right.
Weef?
Because if you're like, "I love you, Hallie," and she's like, "It's Haley," that's how you get out of it. That's how you
Oh my
lose any
gosh,
chance.
We're married and you don't even know how to say my name.
I mean, rightfully so. Lance keeps calling me Lorenzo, and I'm like, dude, my name is
Lorenzo?
Vincenzo for the 100th time, not Lorenzo. So
Oh, I
Lance
love
basically
this.
lost his chance
This-
with me, is what I'm gonna say.
This scene was great. This part was
Oh,
great. 'Cause then Vi immediately messes up, and she brings up Vander, her mother, and like Jinx. Like the last time she saw them, they were not in a great place. So it's just like bringing up these monsters in her head.
Yeah, that's
well,
why
it's-
Silco's like,
it's-
don't listen to her. Stop saying those things. You're confusing her.
Well, it's all the monsters that she draws on her gadgets and her little bombs. Like it's the same kind of crayon drawing creatures that she draws. That's what I like about it. And they're just kind of taking over, and she just can't handle all the monsters that are being released here. And then she guns down
She
Silco, snaps because he's
Well-
yelling the
Well, he
truth
pulled
at
out a gun.
He pulled the gun out and she heard the click, and then
Yeah.
she freaked and went and just blasted. I started blasting. Bow, bow.
Han shot first.
And then we see Silco, swing around. You see the bullets in him. Is Silco dead? Now that's the question.
Yes.
I want to ask. Okay.
Oh fuck yeah! You get shot by
Yes, he's
turret
dead.
point blank, you're done.
Well,
He's
everyone that we think is
Shredded
dead.
Even if it didn't kill him immediately, he's gonna bleed out from that. I can't imagine what his internal organs look like right now from that height.
You have
from-
lungs and a heart.
How many rounds did he get hit with? That many high caliber
3?
bullets right in the chest.
I think we
Well,
see like
here-
3 or 4
Here.
go through the chair.
Here
Yeah.
he says, "I would never give you up." Like in his dying words are, "I would never have given
Well,
you up."
I mean,
Don't
if we see in season 2 that somebody like, I don't know, injected him with some kind of magic potion, I mean, who knows, man?
I don't know. I just hope they
I
don't
could see them
screw it up.
trying that.
Right.
I mean,
I mean, he seems like
I
an
think
important villain, to be honest, but he seems dead from what
Thematically,
I saw.
I think Mel's mother is going to be the next villain.
I think she
Sure.
is too. Thematically, I think
Yeah.
he is dead. Like his story overall is complete in relation to Jinx.
Okay.
Like his
Yeah.
story ends with
Story-
him not giving up his like this perfect being, and that perfect being is the one that inevitably kills him. So
yeah, and,
it's
and he's
if
also
they continued with him, there's
kind of
nothing else to do with him.
Well, I'm going to get
And
to a
he's
part
also come to
amateur
the point
about
where he
Vander.
understands what Vander was trying to do as well. So it's a nice little arc to complete that you don't really need to continue.
Hmm.
What's up, Hypnotic? Thanks for joining us, bro.
Hip
So like as we continue here with this scene and Silco, his final word saying, "I would never have given you up. You're my daughter." She just starts crying, and then she just picks up the cannon and starts walking out and loads it up with the hex cube, and just right here walks out and fires right here, right upon at the Pilt World tower.
It gives me
So-
goosebumps, even though I'm not actually watching it.
Yeah. And she pulls the trigger and boom.
I was cheering. I was like, "Let's go! Please tell me." I'm like, "Don't let it hit the moon. Hit the fucking tower." Like,
She
I'm like,
blows up
"Let's
the
go."
moon. That'd be so I wouldn't.
I
have
thought,
predicted that at
because
all.
the moon was right next to it, so I'm like, "What's she going for?"
Now, the taking of the ring here is indication that is Mel like refusing to join her mother or be a part of the council and not be a part of Piltover.
Maybe it's a bit of both because she's fed up with her mother because they don't really like each other anymore, and she's just exhausted with the politics of the council and the fact that she's kind of had to be a bit of a manipulator and everything to get where she is. So she's kind of just done.
Which is
She's
all
done
but
with
gives
it.
more the
She's,
reason why she's gonna die.
I think it's she is finally doing an act out like completely independent and for herself. Like every action she's done has been like in spite of her mother. Like I'm gonna be if my family won't accept me, then I will become the most powerful person in this place I've been banished to.
But it also
Um,
fits on theme where like every time she makes a decision and does something on her own, it's catastrophic for everybody.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, like I just wanted you guys' take on this with the ring because it's like I didn't know if it's
Am I right in
Go ahead.
thinking that the ring is the family sigil, though, isn't it? So the ring isn't the
That's-
council sigil. In which case, so what she's doing there is she is finally discarding any trace memory that she has or any allegiance she might have to her mother, and she's voting for peace explicitly against her mother, who is voting for war.
Yes.
And so that symbolic detachment is a divorce from her own family. And it just so happens that at the moment she does it, war comes to them anyway and proves her mother right.
Mm. And then we have the song here. So I there's a part here I want to show because we do see Singed in a scene.
She puts the ring down.
So we have
And we see
Savika and
Savika.
Savika, Heimerdinger, and here. And so whose body is this? Is this Vander?
Mm,
Could be.
could be. Could be.
That's-
I don't know.
No way.
It's been
I didn't
Pointed
notice
to-
that.
Yeah.
So in the video game, I forget the name of the character, but
Apparently it's Vander.
the character, one of the names of the character is the Hound of the Underground, and in episode 1 they call Vander the Hound of the Underground. Warwick, yes, Warwick. So
Warwick.
this is the body of Vander. If that body will hold all of the sentience and the memories and personality that made Vander who Vander is, then yes, it's Vander. If it's just his body, then it's Warwick.
So
I think they might go for the tragic monster angle, like Frankenstein, where
Yeah.
he has
mhm.
he's very simple now, but he at least has some vestige. Like he has good feelings about
Yeah.
Vi and all of them, and he'll follow her orders just because he has vague good feelings about her because he vaguely recognizes her. But that'll be interesting.
So again, I go back and say, like, is Silco still dead going into season 2, or do you think he
100%.
Well,
becomes
we saw his body not breathing, so
Yeah, he's not breathing.
and he never did any intense shimmer stuff. He only did the eye drop.
Yeah, but every
which seemed
day,
to-
you know, he's doing a little
Yeah.
bit all
Yeah,
the
but
time. I mean,
it seemed like just to be like a like a cure for his eye to
Painkiller?
like not spread. Yeah, painkiller to not spread the infection. Yes, as far as we know, Silco is dead. If they bring back
Well,
Silco,
I
it's
agree.
probably going to be stupid. Like I'm
Yeah.
not going to
No, I
like it if they
agree.
bring Silco back.
I also,
Well, that-
I mean, it's
What are they
it
going to
seems
do
like
with
with
him
Vander,
at that
like
point?
his body is in some kind of stasis, being pumped with some kind of chemicals. It's like a
Mhm.
proof shot. I mean, but yeah, it does seem like it's dead, whatever that is.
I mean, what are they going to do with Silco at that point if they bring him back? You know,
And then this
Oh.
shot.
It'll probably
Yeah.
just be more of the same shit, you know, that they did this season, which is why, yeah, this would be a better villain. And also, gold leaf paint is expensive.
oh yeah,
Well,
Wait.
here we see why she's the most powerful person. She could afford
Gold freckles. So I
yeah,
don't,
she
you
could
know.
just afford copious amounts of it.
just I got a question for you, Andrew. What do you think of these thighs here? Are you like all about the
why do I? Why? Listen, I like
Guys,
muscle.
you
man.
can just I'll
Listen.
take one for the team. I will bang Mel's mom. You can stop teasing Andrew. I could be muscle mommy
Listen.
fan.
I like muscle
Yeah.
mommy. I don't listen. I don't like muscle grandmothers. All right, there's a difference.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm 40 years old, so she's probably not much older than me. And second of all, I know I could please her sexually and physically. It might-
What the fuck?
I believe in myself.
What the
I
fuck?
feel like
I
I
think
could do
I
it.
just tuned into the wrong stream here, folks. Like, what the hell
I'm
is
Italian,
happening?
you guys.
You know, I
It's
can
turning
just
into the
imagine-
whatever
I
podcast.
can just imagine the creators of the shows listening in on us, and you're like,
I'll make this woman
Like,
feel like a little girl again, like like
I
a
would
virgin.
lo-
That song.
I would
I
love it if
take-
they were listening and they sent Enzo something in the mail of a nude Mbessa or something. That would be
We're gonna
hilarious.
hear him.
I
I'm gonna
think
hear him
by
best singing voice,
amateur
okay?
amateur can have a.
Hey
amateur
guys,
can have
send me
Caitlyn.
nude Caitlyn. Thanks very much.
Oh,
Dude, you can just search that up.
oh,
yeah.
not the
Also,
ones
Rule
that.
34, dude.
Yeah.
What? Nope. Rule 34 is like giant hammer cocks.
You asked, bro.
Uh,
Gave you the answer.
what the
I don't like that stuff. I like more artistic nudes, like Frank
You like
Frazetta.
tasteful
I
porn.
am sure, not that I would know, but I have been told that there is artistic Rule 34. It's not all giant hammer penises. You'd be fine.
Anything
Rule
you can
34
think
is
of.
for
There's Rule
everyone. It's like the
34.
most egalitarian genre of
There's
porn
Rule
there is.
34 platoon out there, probably. You know what I mean? It's out there.
What the fuck?
That's how you know you made it. When you start making porno of you without your consent.
Well, that's something we're gonna have to look up, aren't we?
I finished up.
We are not
the,
looking that
no.
up.
I finished
I do
up
not want to see that,
the
please.
Soko
No.
drawing. If anybody wants to see the Soko thing, it's all done.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah,
just finish
something
this
good.
up. We're
Something to
almost
wash those
done
images
here.
out of my head.
Okay.
Yeah. There have been things. So this is a great shot. Again, your Rebel Moon shot here.
Red Moon,
Don't-
and then
blood has
bring
been
that
spilled
up.
this night.
Don't mention that. We're in the
No.
presence of art. Don't talk
Yes.
about Rebel Moon.
This is before Rebel Moon, so let's put it that way. Great scenery, great shot. The details is fantastic. Even though it looks super detailed, it's very simple animation. Very well done. And then we get everyone's voting, and everyone's like,
This
voting
shot
for
is
peace.
so crazy because it's like Jace looks at Mel and they're like, "We did it, we won," and then the next shot is just the missile.
Yeah.
Just
It
Yeah,
looks like
this
one of
is
those
great,
Mario bombs, those Mario cannonballs
It
that you have
does.
to jump
It
on.
looks like
yeah. Shark,
Yeah.
the shark
Mario
thing, yeah.
missile.
But here's the thing. I know like it would be a huge cop out if they brought Silco back. It would also be a huge cop out because I mean, I think this would have been better if it ended with like seeing the building explode and like, okay, everyone's dead in there. But instead, it's like we just see the window kind of crack. It's like, what if that thing's like a dud in the next episode? Like part 1, we get the
I'm
Luke
gonna be
Skywalker
pissed.
throwing the throwing the
Yeah, yeah,
lightsaber again, where like the missile kind of just flies through the window and crashes into a wall, and it's like they have a moment to run away or something. I would be upset if that happened.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and look at the
Everyone
way
lives.
it's gonna hit right into the middle of that table. There's no way none of them is surviving without
Assuming it
serious-
blows up.
Yeah,
I hope it
So,
does.
This is
I mean,
the
look
end
at
of
how unstable the hex crystals have proven to be. I mean, look, it's got that same energy as the monkey bomb that she let off in episode 3. Like, look
Sure.
at that. They're yeah,
Dude,
love that.
what-
movie.
It could
something
also be like
crazy.
anti-hex, what if Jace does some kind of pull some force field out of his ass? I mean, any of that stuff would be terrible, obviously. So let's hope it doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
He pulls out his
That's how-
giant hammer and absorbs the shark brain.
yeah.
Hammer time, baby. No,
His
it comes
hammer
to him- it
shoots.
comes to him like Thor, and he grabs it, and then like he bonks the missile.
Honestly, they could pull that off if
Shut up!
like
do not do
absorbing
it.
the
No,
hammer.
no.
The
Oh,
more I
listen.
think about it, I'm like, seriously, they're gonna kill all these people. They're gonna kill Jace and Mel and Gearhead. I don't believe it.
They're
But
killing.
let's
Mel
hope so.
better die. Mel's gotta die.
Yeah.
Sure.
No,
Yeah,
Mel's
I mean,
not
if
Mel.
they did some sort of
Mel's
bullshit
dead.
like that, I could see it working as long as the
like we don't
absorbing
want
the
any
force
of them to
impact
die.
kills
I mean,
Jace, you know?
the thing is, the only council member that I think they're gonna like keep on the roster where everyone
Please
else
say
is gonna
Gearhead.
die.
You say
I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably going to be it's definitely not going to be Jace or Mel. I think Gearhead's going to die. I think it's gonna, I think it's
Yeah, I
going to be that guy with the alcohol, the wine.
Oh yeah, he should die. He sucks. But
yeah,
he probably
the
won't
little
die
guy with
because
the-
you
I
hate
think
him.
I think he will because like for season 2, I think they're gonna have the most destructive members be the ones living to like
I think
really hatch up a new villain, storyline.
the only two that I'm betting on still surviving are Jace and Victor. Mel
Oh,
is
yeah.
gonna die. If Mel
Ooh.
doesn't die, we're gonna have a problem in terms of conflict for season 2.
do you
I think
really
if
think
Mel
Victor's
dies-
gonna survive that shit?
Listen, this is how I've
Well, even if they
Close his eyes.
survive, they're
structured-
going to be pissed because they'll know
Listen.
that came from Zahn, and they're going to make war. It's going to be like this is going to be the event that triggers every series of unfortunate events that happens next, like the death of Ned Stark. Everything terrible in the world that you could think of is going to happen thanks to this moment. Either way, any way you slice it.
No, I want Andrew to close his eyes and tell us what he
Listen,
envisions.
all right, I'm gonna
Yeah,
pitch
yeah,
you the first
I wanna hear.
episode, the first scene. All right,
Tell us,
Black.
oh great Moggy, what hast thou visions?
Yeah,
What hast thou prescience?
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
Revealed
Yeah,
to thee?
yeah. Let him speak. I want to hear his
All right,
comment.
so opens fire, big fire around the room. All the other politicians that have no character work, they're all dead. They're good. They're goodbye. They're cannon fodder. We look, Mel dead, Jace passed out. We see a hand, a weird, creepy, like purple looking hand crawling out of the room, and it's Victor. And then Victor goes to the the hex core, and he does a little shimmy with that, and then that's how he survives. How the other people survive, no clue. Jace, I'm gonna have a big problem, like, depending on how he survives. Like, people can survive explosions. It depends on how big the explosion is. This missile is a giant nuke, so I have no idea how anyone's gonna survive this. Mel, I think Mel is gonna 100% die with like, Jace is gonna watch it happen, like, watch her, like, breathe her last breath. And then the big one of the big conflicts of season 2 is probably gonna be Noxus getting involved with what's her name? Big muscle grandmother. I just
Ambessa?
forgot it. Ambessa.
Vanessa?
Ambessa is definitely going to get involved. And the reason I think that, not only because it would make sense for the story, but also she's becoming a champion in League of Legends. So that tells me that she's significant to next season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Interesting.
I can get behind
Yeah,
that.
she could use she could do the thing where, oh my gosh, my daughter is dead. This is an act of aggression against my kingdom. We must make war. But she's just
Of course she's
doing
of
it so
course
she
she's going to
can-
do that.
Yeah.
I think she'll be
gain power.
legitimately upset about her daughter being dead too. I mean,
I don't
Also-
think so. I think she'll
Uh,
just more have the ulterior motive of wanting to make headways in Piltover militarily. You know, like, oh no, how terrible! We must declare martial law.
I mean, I think she'll mourn because she definitely was emotional when telling Mel why she banished her.
Mhm.
I also saw, I think T Pro said that Kate's mom is not going to die. She is going to die because I've seen a storyboard panel of Kate and her mom in their house with a bunch of flowers around them, and it's raining outside.
Oh.
So she dead.
I seriously thought you were
Also,
going to see.
by
I've
the,
seen
by
the
the laws of
future.
editing, she's
I mean, I've seen leaked storyboards, so technically, I guess I have seen the future. I
He
am.
is the Lisan Al Gaib.
he's been drinking the worm juice.
Amateur, go ahead. You there?
yeah, but just based on the laws of editing, Kate's mom is totally gonna die because they set her up to die. They made her seem more likable, and then they show that shot with the Dutch angle, and she's all in red right at the last little montage. She's
Mhm.
absolutely gonna die. They set it up that way.
Yep.
But
Also,
I
it
do
makes sense
agree with you
for her
totally. Like,
character.
Victor survives because of his augmentation and his connection to the whatever you want to call it, and the organic hex core. I'm not even sure if it has it at this point, but that's a really good insight. I think you're onto something there. But I think everyone else is gonna die. Jace, it could go either way, but everyone else in the room is dead. 100%.
Jace could be shielded from the hex tech from Victor just from proximity. You know, just
Yeah,
being close to him.
That's what I think. I think because
He might
the-
pull out some magic hammer bullshit.
Oh,
Guy just pulls it out of his ass.
well,
I hope if it does,
people-
it kills him and Mel lives instead. Like, if they do something like that, that might be interesting.
What
But
about-
who do you think? Who? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna like. What are your thoughts of this? Like, Mel survives, but she's like near dead. She's badly damaged and disfigured, and Jace and Victor survive because Victor's the hex core take over, like puts up a barrier to protect him. It seems like it's wants to protect him, but also control him. And then they take Mel to Singed, in the next series to,
I
bring her
think
back.
I don't. So I think if Mel is to survive, she has to be put in like a coma or something. Like she has to be knocked
yeah.
out for half the season.
Yeah.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with her surviving. It just depends on how they do it. It's like Sabine. It's like I am okay with the general premise of someone surviving a lightsaber stab. It depends on how you do it. Like not just some like back to tank band-aid like is gonna fix it. And she's not gonna recover in a day, right? That's
Yeah.
stupid. In the same case with this, if you get blown up by a bomb and just walk it off the next day, there's a lot riding on this interaction. Like if season 2 breaks its neck on entry, we're gonna have a problem.
Well, that's the
Uh,
worry, right? We're
Hopefully,
always
this doesn't
worried
turn
about
into
sequel.
another Westworld.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Well, if that, going off of what you guys are saying, let's say she hypothetically did die, right? Then the mother would obviously, be there. Maybe the mother's going to be coaching Jace to be, to warp. What's it? I forget the city's name, but to warp the city
Piltover?
Piltover under like a dictatorship. And what they're going to do is they put their sights onto their undercity and start to really do some overhaul on that. I think, and then Jason's just going to let it happen. And if Victor survives, I think that's going to be the divide in the friendship right then and there. So Jason's going to take more of that villain military route, where Victor is probably going to like screw with magic some more, where it's where he was against it right then and there, but because of the break in the friendship due to this stuff, he's going to go back to the magic, and now there's going to be magic that's now going to come out of nowhere that's probably going to help the people of the Undercity to try and stop like what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what
I'm
I'm really
curious
excited
what'll
about
happen to
is-
Caitlyn if they reunite Vander in his sort of twisted form and Vi. Is he going to see Caitlyn as a threat the way Jinx did to Vi's affections, or is he just going to be like a gentle giant? If Vi seems to enjoy the company of any person, like that's going to shape how he views them, So if she doesn't have a good relationship with, like say Jinx, he's just going to try to kill Jinx because he sees that she's hurting Vi in some way,
Yeah, in my opinion, like werewolves and Dr. Jekyll and the Incredible Hulk, it always works better when like no one is safe, like including the loved ones. So like because that stuff is all very interesting to me. I don't want to see more of the same next season. I want to move on to new locations, new regions, new characters. I want werewolves. That sounds awesome. I want to see more magic. I want Suddenly Wizard to show up. I need more of him. I need to know what the hell that was all about.
That's what the writers want to do. They want to I think this season's going to be the last.
I don't want to
season
focus
set
more
in
on Piltover and Zahn next season. I don't.
I think they do want to make this an overall Runeterra story, like going to Noxus. Noxus, I think, is going to be the next place we go to, which is pretty easy to assume.
I don't know what that means, but sure, it sounds great.
Well,
I don't know who
it does make
Oriana
sense
is.
because.
Go ahead, Amateur.
Sorry, the wicked delay. I'm trying my best not to talk over everyone, but
no,
it makes sense for us to go to Noxus.
Everyone.
And
yeah. Go ahead, Amateur. Sorry.
Yeah, it does make sense for us to explore Noxus moving forward, because with Mel either dying or being incapacitated or whatever, she serves the plot quite a bit better that way, because then it creates this tension between Mel's mom, Noxus against Piltover, how all that's gonna play out. And there's a lot of characters that they haven't even introduced that are from Piltover even. So the idea that they just wipe the castle clean slate and just a bunch of characters we haven't met before, a good direction for them to. Because if you just look through the list, they have probably 20 champions that they haven't mentioned yet that are from Piltover.
Well, this comment by T Pro 83, if Mel ends up being Oriana, I don't know who Oriana is. He's saying that would be interesting. Now, if you could mention Oriana in the chat there, T Pro, that'd be great, because maybe Mel does become this character. I don't know the game at all, so
Oriana, the
Oriana
lady of
is the lady of
clockwork.
clockwork.
okay.
She's like a weird ballerina robot looking thing.
Okay,
Ah,
I have
interesting.
no idea if she would be,
Yeah.
because this looks like a full robot character.
Yeah, she's like a complete robot. She's even got the wind up thing on the back on her back, like the little wind up toy thing.
Oh my god.
Maybe
Sorry,
if
I'm
they
reading
like
back comment, I'm sorry.
Oriana
maybe if they
is
did a
meant-
thing where like the cube, like Victor discovers that the cube absorbed her soul, I guess you could say, into its essence, and then Jace goes on the spiral where he like puts her her consciousness into the body of Oriana. That could be interesting, but I don't know.
Oh,
I
before
got a
we
really sick
forget,
little mind.
Oh
do you
yeah,
want me to
drawing.
do you want me to show you Silco?
yes. So let's.
This
Yes,
is
yes,
last drawing to the show.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow,
Look
nice.
at
Oh, hell yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I'll go a little bit
Hell yeah.
closer.
Yeah,
so
that's-
you
Look
can
at
see
his
face.
awesome.
That goes hard.
Yeah.
Look at his eye.
I think that's your best
great.
one. Man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I don't
That
know. I
one's
do
good.
really like the Echo one. The Echo
I-
one is probably my favorite.
I saw the Echo one. That one's cool, but I really like that one. I really love Silco. I think he's probably one of the best villains in TV, and that's just an awesome. That's just awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I had time on this one. Whereas, like, what is it? Last week, I wasn't happy with Jason Victor.
We had 2 characters for the price of 1, you know? So.
Yeah, for like what, an hour or something on the show review. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Well, this is the end of season 1, and obviously episode 9. So we'll go around the horn and just get everyone's opinion on season 9. I don't know if you can hear this, Amateur. If you want to quickly give your thoughts on this episode and maybe where it's going.
Yeah. I'm not sure where they're gonna go with it. Like, I'm not really like of it being bad, because I honestly think it's in good hands. Because if you look at like the state of League going into season 1, like I couldn't possibly fathom of like a good show based on the lore and like everything like about the League community that I knew of up to that point, which isn't much. But yeah, they totally blew me away with it. So I mean, I'm awaiting it patiently, but I've very high expectations, but I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot more of the sort of like the overall world. Really not sure who's gonna die, but I would like to say that they're gonna do something of a clean sweep, at least of the Piltover side. It probably won't be what we expect, but it should be good either way. Yeah, love this episode for sure. I think it's probably the second best episode if I had to rank order them. I got to give this one a 10 out of 10. The only thing I don't like about this episode is Vi gets knocked out too conveniently. Just a quick smack in the back of the head, and then she's out like light for exactly how long you need, which it's the second time they do it, and it kind of bugs me a little bit, but it's fine. Just move the plot along. I like how Jace finally gets some agency in this. He stops being a dumbass, stands up for himself, you know, actually confronts the problem and does something about it.
He gets into the grind set.
I like how, yeah, I like how all of the different character dynamics that we've gotten up to this point, they've all sort of been more or less fully fleshed out in terms of like how they're all connected to the same theme. That's sort of like what could have been kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, 10 out of 10 for sure. This episode in particular. I love the cliffhanger ending. I love the montage. I think the editing's really well done. I got to say, I love that song at the end. I'm not sure if it's Sting, like Sting from the Police, or some other guy, but that's the dude who wrote it. With of course Ray Chen doing his violin magic on top of it. But yeah, good stuff. Eagerly awaiting season 2.
Nice.
Should we watch the season 2 teaser or nah?
No.
Oh,
yeah, it is Sting. It is Sting who
It
did
is
it.
Sting.
Not
Holy
just
crap.
Is it
Yeah.
It's auto-tune Sting.
it
I don't
is
know how I feel about that.
Hostman, what are your general thoughts, and where would you rank this episode? And...
I'm just gonna kind of echo the sentiments Amateur already gave. I think it's probably the second best episode of it. I really like the kind of morbid, twisted dinner scene that it gives. It's a really good insight into Jinx's overall character. It's a nice way to bring Vi's Jinx's and Silco's arcs together and wrap them in a nice little bow. It's a nice little way to leave a cliffhanger. It's really good. And in terms of where they're going, I mean, logically, there's going to be a huge manhunt for Jinx. There's probably going to be some tensions between, was it Abraxas and Piltover? I mean, if not a total war, because Mel's mom declares martial law because, oh no, one of our sovereign citizens was murdered on Piltover land by the Zonians, so nothing is safe, sort of things like that. It's a really good episode. It's really well animated. It leaves you on a probably the most infuriating cliffhanger I've seen in recent memory. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.75 out of 10. I'm really looking forward to see what they do next.
Okay. Platoon.
What do you... Yeah, pretty much the same. It's I think what did I say? Second favorite episode. It's certainly up there, and it's a really fantastic combination to what is overall a really fantastic show. To keep that many sort of plates spinning at the same time over the course of a really quite a short runtime for every episode, and only a small number of episodes, and to pack so much in and pay it all off at the end in a way that makes everybody the only fear we have for season 2 is that it doesn't meet the high standard set by season 1, which is not the usual position we find ourselves in. So overall, just a fantastic piece of art in the episode. I'd probably give whatever I gave episode 3. I think it was like 8.5 or 9.
Okay. All right. Zach, your general thoughts, man?
Dude, honestly, from what you said earlier when we started the show, somebody made that comment where is this the best animation show in the past 20 years? I haven't seen a show like this in such a long time, where I had to, I mean, if it wasn't where I had to binge it basically, and I give it a 10. I was just so blown away with this show, and I'm honestly nervous. I'm pretty damn nervous about how the second season is, because 3 years is a long time, and I'm just worried, if they can, if they're able to replicate that, so I mean, that's my thoughts on it. The great storytelling, great animation, great. I liked, again, I said it before, I want to see Apex Legends. This came out and not Apex. Like, come on, dude. Bring me my show.
Well, the most infuriating thing is knowing that League of Legends got a better show than Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like the easiest thing.
How?
Halo, much better lore, much better game, garbage show. Just abysmal.
Oh my gosh.
Well, on that
Halo
note,
has a great soundtrack. Why do you screw up the music?
What are your thoughts there, Andrew, on this episode and the series, and what are your thoughts? Well, you kind of gave your thoughts moving forward. But...
Yeah, very satisfying cliffhanger, I think. I think the cliffhanger leaves a lot open, but also there's enough closure with the characters to know that the ones that are going to come to an end, like Mel, for example, which I think is definitely gonna die. I think if she died, I think it'd be appropriate. Silco has a very satisfying ending to his character. Kind of his last breath is telling Jinx that she's perfect. And it's the affirmation and acceptance that Jinx needs to then like become Jinx fully. And then yeah, the stuff with Vi is solid in this episode with her Vander flashback. It's just a good episode. I think I'd probably give it a 8.59 too. I'll just go with 9. Decibels are for losers. Yeah, 9.
Enzo, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked it. I want to say, I don't know if Gooch is in the same boat or Analyst is in the same boat, but I think I like Blue Eye Samurai a tiny smidgen more, just because, I don't know, when I watch shows like this, kind of like the Final Fantasy movies, or I don't know if you've seen motherfuckers MFKZ.
Yep.
You know, these movies are awesome, but they're based on stuff I'm not familiar with. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I still enjoy this. I think that
you don't have to though, because it's so
I'm a confused boomer.
from the video games.
No, I know. I mean, I give this
That
show a
being said,
solid
though,
8.
Back
I'm
to the
not-
couch,
8.5.
Grandpa.
I know. Yeah, you guys.
I
But I mean, like I said,
I give Blue Eye Samurai a solid 7. I give this one a 9 overall.
okay then.
I
Well,
like,
yeah,
I like
I'm gonna
Arcane much
say-
much more. Both great.
Eraserhead has a question for you. He says, Arcane or Scavenger's
I like
Reign?
Scavenger's Reign more than Arcane. But I'm an outlier
Arcane.
here. I'm one of the few guys that I love that show. I don't know why I liked it so much, but it's because
I just actually got into that. I'm on episode 6 right now.
I liked Scavenger's Reign a lot.
I
But
still haven't
that's
watched
just
it.
me.
I
It's
watched a
good.
bit of the first
that's-
episode, but then I dropped it because I had a bunch of other stuff to watch.
Yeah. Well, I give the show a high 8, obviously. I mean, especially when you compare it to animated shows, definitely one of the best I've seen. And shows in general, I'm just not a fan of. It's like long form storytelling gets on my nerves. And this was one of the few times where I was into it. You know, so yeah, solid high 8, if not a 9. So
And this kind of leads back to me. I would give this episode a good 8.5, 9. I guess I'm a loser. But
Oh my God.
I for me, I appreciate all the animation that's coming out right now and the great storytelling, the character developments, the direction, everything that's going on with these animations that are, you know, being put out for us. Like Scavenger's Reign, Blue Eye Samurai, and Arcane, and it's a great. It's nice compared to all the other garbage that's out there. I love this series based on how they explore the psyche of Jinx and the relationships that you see all throughout the characters that are all kind of linked together. It's like there's 6 degrees of separation between everyone there. So like it's really well done. The animation is top notch. The fight scenes are incredible. So yeah, the series is definitely a 9. It's one of the best that I've seen in a long time. Getting to the Scavenger's Reign, that question there. In case you don't know, we do Scavenger's Reign review. We're on episode 3 this Tuesday coming up. Vex, Enzo, and a whole other panel. We had a great discussion on Tuesday with Tomby, A Price of Reason, and a few others. So come join us as we do that. As for this Thursday nights, we're going to be going into Cyberpunk Edge Runners next. So if you love that show, we're going to be doing that next Thursday. So stick around, join us next Thursday. Join us on Tuesday nights. Tuesday nights and Thursday nights is going to be animation reviews. Next week I'm off, so I might be doing some streams throughout the day talking about animation. But I want to, go around the horn and let everyone talk about what they got coming up. So Amateur, I know you, oh no, not next week, but the week after you're out of town. But do you have anything coming up this week?
I've sort of been trying to put off everything because, yeah, like I have this big project I'm trying to wrap up before I leave, and then I'm out of country for the month. So, yeah, but after that, back full swing with the Edge Runners reviews. Looking forward to that. No, Mancer does not hold up well today as it did in 1988 or whenever the heck it came out. I think it was 88. But yeah, I got some stuff coming up with I think the Gourd King. Yeah, it's all gonna happen in May. So yeah, but for
Nice.
2-3 weeks in April, I won't be seeing very much of me at all. I might pop in the chat here and there, but yeah,
Nice.
not a heck of a lot.
Heimerdinger Hostman, what do you got coming up there, bro?
Yes. Oh, well, I have very many irons in the fire. Sorry, I'm out of character.
Please.
I got a lot of irons in the fire right now. I've got to finish my Censored 11 video. I have to finish it by this month. I can't take it anymore. And I also have a Has-Been Hotel review in the works, but I got a lot of research to do on that. And on April 6th, I'm going to be recording a watch party of the original Shogun, the original series that the new one is based off of. So I think Vex,
81 series.
the 81 series. I think Vex is going to be on that. I think I got Tyler Wolf, Jedi Brooks, and Lofty and Andrew for that. So that'll be fun. I'll have to edit that, but I'll just be around. I think I can. If you guys have any room for me on the Edge Runners panel, I think I can do that next week. So now I'll just kind of be around. I'll be in the chat. I'll be on Twitter trolling everybody from Grapers to Vosh. So it's a fun time.
Perfect. Platoon, you're bouncing around. I believe you got a lot going on this week.
Yeah. Yeah, can't think of what it is, but I know I have a lot of it. What even is happening this week? Yeah, Doom video still in production. I don't know if I'm on EFAB on Saturday. Probably will be on Browns on Sunday. Probably will be Beast Up Monday. I might be around for Edge Runners. I don't know. I will let you know on that front. But
Yeah,
otherwise,
absolutely.
yeah. And then obviously there's a couple of things like Ghostbusters and shit coming out. So I might try and do like 2 videos at the same time and kill myself even further. We'll see what happens.
Amen, brother.
It's in your nature to destroy yourselves.
Let's face it. On YouTube, we're all masochists.
Narcissist. Me.
Oh yeah, narcissist is
I'm
the
a
word.
papist. Of course, I'm a
love money.
masochist.
I'm
Well,
an
research-
obnoxious asshole.
It's bright and early in the morning for Platoon, so like I don't doubt he's.
Oh,
and he was on a stream before this, so yeah, he's probably.
I don't know
that
how
guy.
you do this, dude. Like streaming from 3 a.m. to like 6 a.m. I would be destroyed if I had to do that.
Well, that's why he's the best, damn it.
Yeah. Zach, what do you got coming up, bro?
Well, my campaign on Kickstarter just finished up last week, so I'm in the last stages of just wrapping it up, honestly. And honestly, at the point right now, like besides wrapping up, this book and getting the fulfillment stuff, getting the books ordered, I'm working on, I'm just kind of bouncing around on streams. And if anybody wants me on streams, I'll hop on them. I'll draw, I know I was watching Scavenger's Reign, and I was texting you. I was like, "Hey, yeah, dude, like I totally like this show." And you're like, "Zach, use your big boy words." And I was like, "Yes, I like it a lot." Like, and, I was trying. I wouldn't mind coming on for like a Scavenger's Reign review. I'm
Sure.
going to take a different approach when I draw some of those characters. I think honestly, my favorite character right now is the black chick with the robot.
Aussie.
Yeah,
Aussie.
like I think I'm gonna draw her, the bike, and the robot together in a vignette drawing. That's like the way I'm gonna stylize my drawings is
Nice.
vignettes for that show.
Yeah,
Okay.
from what I've seen, that show is very Mobius and Metal Erlon.
Yes,
inspired.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes. Andrew, what do you got coming up, brother?
I'm not on any streams next week. I'll probably be on BSUP. That's probably it. Still working at the Temple of Doom video. Production's going along swell. Other than that, me and Platoon might start our Andor reviews, maybe, or Andor discussions, maybe. During Alkalite, which would be funny. And then, but yeah, other than that, May 8th is when the Temple of Doom video is coming out. So,
oh, okay, nice.
Nice.
Is that it?
oh yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Oh, also Blue
And-
Room. I'll probably be on Blue Room
Okay. On Thursday
so-
nights.
Aren't you a
Thursday evening.
co-host, or they just have you on as a guest?
dude. I just show up.
You're like me. I just show up.
I movie
go
cynic
ahead,
DMs
Andrew.
me. He's like, "Hey, you want on?" And I say, "Hey, sure." I just show up. I just work here, man. I don't...
Enzo, what you got coming up there, bud?
Well, as you know, every Monday, every Wednesday, every Monday I do a podcast. Or stream every Wednesday. We got a movie riff comes out. Last Wednesday we did. Yesterday was Spaced Invaders. Me and Blue Collar Loser watched that and suffered through it. It was funny. And then I think Sunday I'm going to be on Lance's channel, Outcast Creative, talking about a little movie called Jim Henson's The Thing, the musical.
Nice.
That'll be
What?
fun.
Say what?
Yeah. We'll be talking about the lost film that was never released. Wink, wink. Say no more. That'll be fun. It'll be like our Martin Weir Napoleon movie, if you saw that. And then I'll just be popping around random streams. Tuesdays, I'm going to be pivoting from Thursday to Tuesday here, talk about Scavenger's Reign, which means I might take a break on Edge Runners. I don't know what that is, and I'm not. I don't think I'm going to be getting into it. Maybe I'll pop in on one of the later episodes. Give you overall thoughts. But
Yeah.
as far as that, anything else going on, let me know. I'm always down to party with you fine people, YouTube wise. I'm always down to watch a crappy movie or talk about a crappy movie. In fact, I might go live after this by myself and just give some overall thoughts of the Roadhouse movie remake requel that I saw. It was not great.
I might have to watch that because my boy Conor McGregor's in there.
But it has
I
Jake in it. My boy Jake.
I enjoyed it, but
Yeah,
it's
Jake Gyllenhaal.
nothing compared to the original. 0 throat rips, 0 stars. That's what I said. I was like,
Oh, that's too
Was
bad.
Jake Gyllenhaal good at least?
he's an insane psychopath. Dalton
Hell
is
yeah.
supposed to be like, the original Dalton is stoic and wise. This one seems like emotionless and just insane. So if you like that, sure. Yeah.
That's why they just gotta
Um,
stop remaking remakes on the fucking original
Yeah.
classics.
I
But
called it a
money.
requel because, I mean,
We
it's
need
not technically
money.
a remake. Yeah. It seems like it's a different Dalton. He's got a different first name. It might be Dalton's son for all I know. Who fucking cares?
As for me, like I mentioned, I'll be next week. I'll be streaming. I'll be here for Tuesday night, Scavenger's Reign. Come just check us out. Wednesday, I'll have Orbital Bacon on for an interview. That'll be a lot of fun. If you don't know him, go check out his channel on YouTube, Orbital Bacon. He has tons of animation on there.
Yeah.
A lot of
You
the
got me
80s and
into it.
90s stuff. It's great. But that's going to be a fun interview. Sit down one-on-one with him. And then Thursday we do, like I said, the Cyberpunk Edge Runners. We're going to be doing that. Also, like April 6th, mark your calendars. We're going to be doing a live art auction, and all proceeds will be going to my good friend Joe Sontag. He's the artist and writer for Reaper Destroyer. He just lost his father, and again, condolences to the family. And we're helping him out financially with the cost of the funeral and all that kind of stuff. So come check us out, especially on this channel. We'll be starting off on this channel here April 6th that evening. So come by, save your money, buy some art pieces. Zach is sending in some art pieces. I know I'll have some. We have Dan Lawless, Matt Barr. We have a lot of great talent handing in some pieces up for auction, original pieces. So come swing by for that. I want to thank everyone on the panel for coming on for the series. It's been a lot of fun. I had a blast with you guys. I appreciate it. And everyone in the chat, thank you. Like, we've had a consistent 50 to 60 people tonight watching the show tonight. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to these guys' channels. Go, seek them out. These guys are incredible content creators. They're better than me. So go subscribe if you haven't already. Check out their videos if they've put out new videos. And I want to say a huge thanks to everybody. And everyone, please take care. We'll see you next week, Tuesday night, Scavenger's Reign. And we'll kind of end it off right there. So everyone, take care. Good night. See you soon.
Be a space cowboy.
Peace.
Oh,